All right, mic check 1, 2. We ought to be good. All right, we're all set up. CDs, yo, it's good to see you, my friend. I did say I wanted to try a little bit something different. I know I do a whole bunch of gaming streams, and I just got done with my Dragon's Dogma 2 playthrough yesterday. Fantastic time. Just made a video of me finding the Dragon Forged again, because I made a beeline straight towards him, and I mean, I was in no danger whatsoever because I'm a literal level 100 running through a world where you should be at least level 30 or 40. So I am vastly stronger, along with all the pawns that I have with me, vastly stronger than anything else running around me. So I got that video saved. Matter of fact, in order to save on stuff being ran, let me save project. Because I was in the middle of editing the video. And then I noticed it was getting very, very close to when I was supposed to be starting this stream. Plus, I was watching some other videos as well. So let me just save this project so I can finish editing it and then get it out to you guys a little bit later on once we're all done. So let me exit out of that. Let me exit out of this. I want to have as much free space as possible. Seen something funny recently on your lunch? Walk in this restaurant and this dude's face looks exactly like Ivankov from One Piece. He just needed purple hair. Interesting. So, let's get started with what we're doing today. We are going to be reacting to some animations from Carbot Animations. And as you can see here with the red bars, I've looked at some of these before, but it was a while back, so I don't really remember how it all went down. And this thing is like 75 different videos that are going all the way down. So, yeah. We'll check out some things, and not just Carbot Animations, but also some other things as well if we have the time. So, let me go ahead and unmute the desktop audio, and let's get started.
So you think you know Wix, but do you really?
Right, I forgot. I forgot about these ads popping up. Wait a minute, hold up. There we go. I was about to say, how are we on episode 2? We were supposed to be starting on episode 1.
Wow.
See, that was my first reaction. First reaction getting into Elden Ring. Then I learned very quickly that things can get very bad. The numerous ways you can... Hold on. Real quick. Designs, what's going on? Real quick. It's the one where he gets... I don't know why that one is funny to me. The one where he gets hit by the hammer, then tries to go crawl away, and he gets hit by the sword immediately after. It do be like that sometimes, playing Elden Ring. You think you able to roll away to safety, you just got hit by something heavy, and then you roll right into something, or you try to get away, and it just straight up kills you in the next. That's... I think it's the sound effect that happens. I think it's the sound effect that happens when he gets hit. All of that to just say, yeah, you finally died your first death. Jump to get secret item. So, dodge rolling is a novice mistake. Is this like Elden Ring or other such Soulsborne's game? CJ? This is the animation for someone who's playing Elden Ring. There it is. There was a piece of meat stuck in the back of my teeth. I got it. So that's the first video. That pretty much spells out my entire first experience with Elden Ring. And I remember playing through Elden Ring the first time. I was just taking everything in. I was like, there's no way that we're getting this From Software game that's also open world. And I didn't realize it was going to be as great as it was. So that's episode 1. The dodge rolling, thinking that that's all you need to get away safely. And people still use it to this day as a surefire tactic to get away from people trying to kill them. A lot of them don't make it. But yeah, as I said in the description, none of these types of streams, especially when it deals with someone else's channel and their videos, none of these will be monetized because all of that revenue belongs to them. So I'm not going to be monetizing any of these because I just want to enjoy them and support the original creators. As you can see here, just go to Carbot Animations. Dude's got a 1.87 million subscribers, but this stuff is great. And he made this 2 years ago, so I'm kind of late on doing a reaction to these, but still. First run through of Elden Ring, you got bullied by the golden horse and the one-shot chariot. Okay. So I think I attempted to take on the tree sentinel when during my first playthrough. Hold on, you know what? Let's do this. Let me see if I can bring up what my first interaction with the tree sentinel actually was for Elden Ring. Okay, first hours. We're not going to look at the whole thing, though. I just want to get to the point where I find the tree sentinel. How long did it take me to make a character? It took me under 30 minutes to make a character. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so we're here in the open. I played an astrologer character for the first time. And I'm looking. And now here's the thing. Now the game has basically just told us, all right, here you are in the open world. Go explore. I don't even think I actually
about the game is that you have unlimited stamina unless you're in combat. Then the stamina just goes down like normal.
My voice sounds a lot higher. I wasn't that old. It was just, this was 2 years ago. Why does my voice sound so high?
Erdleaf flower.
You trained in the closed beta? I know, you and I were both speaking, yeah. Me and Gajiel, we were talking to each other before he joined the servers. We were part of another one.
I can tell you right now, I'm not strong enough to take on that guy yet.
But he was a part of the closed beta. We both tried to sign up
Mushroom.
And get in to mess with the closed beta. He got in, I didn't. This is me, I guess, instinctually trying to get away from the tree sentinel at the time.
It'd be funny if you could get a poison apple and sneak behind enemies and equip it on them like in Elden Ring. I mean, in Elder Scrolls. It would be. Why am I doing that? Sorry, it's just that I was playing Horizon Forbidden West earlier, And square in that game is used for crouching, and I kind of just nonchalantly used my flask to heal myself, even though I didn't need to. But we found another lost
Holster,
grace.
good to see you.
Fast travel to sites of grace. Through your map, you can instantly travel to any sites of grace that you've discovered. However,
Okay, so I didn't take on the tree sentinel. I don't know how long it was ago, but I don't think I took on the tree sentinel at that time. I'm looking around, and I spent like, hold on, almost 20? No, maybe 30? Maybe 30 extra minutes at that enemy camp? How far does this go? Oh, okay. I made it all the way up to... I think I tried taking on one of these giants, and I think they killed me. Man, it's
thought
crazy.
it was defenseless, but it's not.
This takes me back. My very first iteration of playing Elden Ring. 2 years ago. A lot of us awaited the day this game came out, and we all know this thing had everyone in a chokehold for 6 straight months. And now it's going to have another chokehold of people again with Shadow of the Erd Tree.
So they can still hurt you. Imagine if he one-shot at me. If he did, I would have said I earned that.
Okay, I just wanted to check that out. I did not take on the Tree Sentinel. All right, let's move on to the next one from Carbot. Ah, I hit the wrong button. Ads. Margit, the newbie regulator. See, that's what got me with Margit. The Joker could track you. That's what got me. Okay, so a lot of us, if you've played the Souls series from FromSoft, from Dark Souls to Sekiro, Bloodborne, a lot of us are so used to just simply dodging out of the way from bosses and not having them instantly track us at all times. Then Elden Ring comes along and basically says, all right, we're gonna make sure that each and every single boss we have in the game has an attack that has long wind up, and yet they're still tracking you while they're winding up. So we're gonna wait for you to improperly dodge. We're gonna wait for you to dodge at the wrong time, and then he's gonna smack you with it. It took me a minute to get used to how the boss's mechanics worked, because me and Gaja, we talked about this all the time. Anytime we as players learn something, learn an exploit, or learn a way to get around bosses, FromSoft comes back with either a patch or a new game that takes everything that they learned from us, and then makes it so that bosses adapt to the game. So with Elden Ring, over the history of all the FromSoft games, they've been watching us, paying attention to strategy guides and people playing, and noticing that, players like to backpedal a whole lot so that they don't get too close to a boss, and they can just spam their magic one after the other. So, we're going to make it so that bosses almost always have a way of closing the distance very, very quickly. They like to get away so they can heal up real quick. Well, we'll make it so that the boss becomes aggroed and hones in on players when they're getting close to healing so that we can see the frustration when they fail. Oh, I noticed that players are dodging from the left and right all the time, so let's give a whole bunch of our bosses wind-up moves that have long wind-up times, and players don't know the exact timing of when to dodge half the time, so that when they dodge improperly, they get hit, and if they're not strong enough, they die, and they have to try all over again and learn about the frames of animation from bosses so that you can properly dodge. They learn. They've learned. And then they also make it so that bosses, a lot of bosses in Elden Ring, for example, not every single boss is like this, but Renala is very susceptible to just straight up physical damage. Her poise is absolute garbage, which means that for a person like me who has a strength build that was just pure strength, I literally just bodied her one after the other with the what is it, the giant stone hammer from Bullhorn Tragoth, and using his full-on armor, also while having my endurance be high enough so that I can move with the hammer and heavy armor at the same time and not fat roll at all. Fighting her was really, really easy, because when you're a magic user, the thing you got to worry about the most are the physical attackers. I haven't played PvP, but for people who play PvP and think that magic is all it takes to beat your opponent, they learn a rude lesson. They have a rude awakening when they try and spam magic all the time. Players are not NPCs that go off of just predetermined behavior based off of your actions. They are unpredictable. I mean, look at Only Waifu's channel, where she talks about everything that people do wrong in Elden Ring, and she's right. On when it comes to PvP, and how salty people get when their tactics that worked on enemies that are meant to be killed by you, the player, and not have like actual player mentality in their behavior. So all you're used to is fighting pre-programmed enemies rather than an actual human player who's smart. You can see how people are spoiled by how PvE and PvP don't really mesh together in terms of my skill against killing hordes of enemies in PvE does not correlate to my skill of being able to take out one singular person in PvP, which is why I don't invade, and I've never played the Colosseum, because it's like, one day I will and might, but it's just not my cup of tea. But it's amazing how something like this, I'm only at like 18 seconds in, I haven't even moved on to the next one. But it's amazing how this was the wake-up call for everyone on how this is not going to be yet another simple FromSoft Souls game. This is going to be something. The perils of having the wrong stuff slotted into your quick select, and when you try to hit the button, because I didn't realize until earlier on that holding down on the directional pad will put you right back at your heels instantly. But there are times when I hit that button and then I keep scrolling and I'm like, I need to heal, and then I hold it down and then I hit the button again accidentally, and then I got to do it all over again while I'm still trying to pay attention to the boss that could kill me in one singular hit because I haven't healed yet. That's the terror. This is the terror of trying to go through your items. Where's my heals? Where's my heals? Ah, he's coming! Ah! Which is why I don't have too many things slotted in my quick select, just to save on that time. Yep. The frustration right there. Oh my goodness. The frustration of seeing your runes right next to you because you've been in the fight thinking that you're going to do something. So you ignore your runes instead of grabbing them. And then when you get killed by either one of Morgoth's daggers or getting smashed by him, and you see your runes over there with your hard-earned runes, like maybe you had like a couple thousand, could have been able to level you up maybe about once or twice. But earlier on, those things are precious. They are incredibly precious. And to see them laying right next to you is a pain every single Elden Ring player has felt. Every single one. There isn't a single Elden Ring player who has not seen their runes be taken from them when they die next to them. There's not a single one. There's not a single one. Ah, I felt this. Rogier! See, that hurt me because that means that he died before Roger was taken out. I think that may have happened to me once. I was fighting Morgott and I died while my summon was still out there. Or you're a person joining another person's party and you see the host get killed and you're still very much alive. Yeah, am I the only one who gets into a party with someone? Like I get summoned to help someone fight a boss. And I see that we're all doing good. And sometimes the host chills in the back while everyone else is doing the fighting. Now, this isn't a let me solo her situation, but you see the host sometimes just chilling in the back while everyone else is fighting, just avoiding the boss entirely. There are some that are, brazen and will attack with everyone else, as it should be, but you ever get those ones that like to camp outside so that they're never in any danger, so they're that in the hopes that someone will beat the boss for them so that they don't actually learn? Sometimes when you see those hosts die and you're still alive fighting the boss, I'm like, you're supposed to be fighting and you still got taken out, even though we're all doing all the fighting. I've been in a situation where I've joined a host boss battle and some people would hang in the back, like just waiting for everyone else to do all the damage and take them all out. And I'm like, how are you supposed to learn how to beat this boss if you don't actually take them on and defeat them? Now, mind you, I'm the type of person that will use a Mimic Tear or Black Knife, and I'll get some licks in here and there. I mean, I kind of behave that way just a little bit. I kind of behaved that way when I was fighting Black Malekith of the Black Blade when I was doing my Black Blade build. I had Black Knife Tish in there, and she was fighting him, and I was hiding behind pillars because I know that this dude is mad aggressive. But at the same time, I'm trying to get my licks in because I don't want it to seem like I'm just camping outside. So, summon a person. You think you're succeeding. And then you die, and the summon's all like, really, bro? Doing all that leveling to make yourself stronger, and you still get killed by Morgott. Patches! Margit Shackle! Even when you're beating up on him, you still get knocked away. I never used the shackle on Margit. I've never used the shackle on him. I've seen other people use the shackle for Margit, but I've never used it. I didn't even know that that was a thing until maybe a couple of months ago. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't even know that you could have summoned people in to help you against General Radon. I thought I was supposed to be taking them on myself. Then you just... You're trying to get the proper targeting going. You're trying to get it on the right person. When the camera doesn't want to obey you and wants to make things difficult. You get the helmet? Oh no, fat roll. Let me take off the rest of my clothes. I can move fast now. I tell you what, the first time I ran into Pumpkinhead, I don't know what its official name is, but the first time I ran into Pumpkinhead, it was like, okay, how am I supposed to damage this thing? Because I try to get behind it, and he's always circling over, so I can't actually do damage to him. And some of these Pumpkinhead dudes, they have like these either big spears or halberds, and some of them have these big, long flails. I know I fought one, there was one in the ruins somewhere. I forget where it was. There was one in the ruins. No, it was actually a room where you had to fight two at once. I think I was supposed to be fighting two at once, and one had like a big hammer weapon and another one had a flail. I'm trying to remember correctly. But both of them trying to run after you at the same time, and their weapons do bleed damage. Oh, it's so much fun. It's so much fun having these things run after you. And then you can't even fight them head on because their big old heads is taking all of the damage. And it's reduced damage. So you have to figure out a way to get behind them or slash them in the legs when their heads aren't just heavy metal head banging on the ground. That fight took me a couple of tries. Because they can be really annoying that way. No, you don't. I'm waiting on you. I'm waiting on you. The imps on the walls. See, every single time I went into a cavern, I was always looking for these things. Especially a surefire way to find out where they are is for you to hit the stick to enable lock on. Look up on the roof, look along the walls, be careful around each corner, because these things early on, they were tough. And they had this, and they were able to dodge away from you, back up real quick, and then just slash at you multiple times. They could gang up on you. And the ones in the later stages, like the ones you find in the mountaintops of the giants, those jokers get annoying in large numbers. The ones who are more annoying in terms of small enemies that can just straight up mess up your entire day, the ones that get more annoying than the stone imps that be inside of the dungeon are the small militia dudes that you encounter either in Caelid near the Beast Temple or up on the path towards the mountaintop of the giants. The ones that are these little Oompa Loompa looking dudes that are clad in black, and they either carry like heavy weapons with them, or they're always throwing these vials at you so that you can't heal at all. And their blades have like the ability of destined death on it, so that when they hit you, your health gets reduced, and then it also gets, you know, sapped away from you over time as well. And they like to spam that. They like to spam that too. Ooh, I don't like them. I don't like them. They're on my list of most hated enemies in the game, alongside Runebear and that one revenant creature that likes to teleport everywhere that can really be only harmed by healing magic. Don't run into a dungeon if you don't know where you're going and those things are chasing you, because if you get to a dead end, emphasis on dead. Yep. Have a friend come in and help you. Yep, and I keep forgetting the traps. The ones that have either a turret, like a giant pillar that shoots out fire, or a giant pillar that shoots out ice. The timing on those is not bad. It's just that you got to be careful that you don't get stopped along the way because the window can be a bit small if you are distracted. And you could find yourself getting charbroiled or frozen to death. And that's not including the dangers of either encountering a skeleton crew or an imp crew halfway through when you're trying to hide from it, and them trying to kill you and murder you while you're just patiently waiting. Especially when they're off to the side of the corridor where the flames or ice is coming through, and they're off in the spaces where you're trying to hide, and they will ignore all sense of self-preservation and immediately go after you inside of those little spaces. Nah, I'm good. You play the game on hard mode, I see. I did? Did I? What do you call Elden Ring hard mode? Is it Elden Ring but without people helping you out and without people traveling with you? Cuz I really didn't have any of my friends travel with me when I was doing my initial playthrough. I did that all on my own. Play the game. I use a miniature dragon and you got Scarlet Rot. Hit the boss and then ran away and it cleared out rooms. Kind of wish Elden Ring had a pawn-like system. I don't. I'm actually glad that they don't have like a companion system where people are always traveling with you. Because I feel like FromSoft has really pioneered the sense of like, hey, all these achievements that you done, yeah, that's based off of your skills and not necessarily the companions that are with you. Sure, you have the tiers that can help you out only in certain situations, not all the time. With bosses, yes. In certain combat scenarios and environments, yes. But once that's over, they're gone. And sure, you can have your friends travel with you, but I'm glad it doesn't have like a pawn system like Dragon's Dogma. Let that stay with Dragon's Dogma. Let that stay with Dragon's Dogma because it really works there. Because then all people would be doing instead of trying to play the game for themselves and learn for themselves is just constantly having a companion come in. Especially for those who are having a hard time, especially in the later stages. See, when you know you want something, you kind of contemplate. See, I've been through this situation before. I know there's something that I want, but it's with a whole bunch of enemies, and I don't want to fight them. The Scarlet Lake down beneath Noxtella. I want to say Noxtella. The Scarlet Lake. And then trying to get down into that lower area, doing Ronnie's quest, of course. There's those insect enemies. And up, when you get down to the deepest recesses of it, once you get through the Scarlet Lake, and hopefully you get to it before your health runs out. No, I know for me, if my health is high enough, I will have as many heals as I can, try and get across as far as I can, and then just wait for the Scarlet Rot to subside. And then just run all the way through the rest of the Scarlet Lake, periodically healing myself until I get to that site of grace, past the lake, down the stairs, and then heal myself, and then I'm safe. It's moments like that where you get down deeper because you got to drop down many levels in order to get down there. You get down there. And you see all these insect enemies that just love to spam pest threads at you. Over and over and over, they just love to spam pest threads. And you're running. Man, Kyushu, I'm loving this power. Just unlock Volcano Manor. Have fun. The environment that you're in right now, it's nice. I will let you know this, however, that if you take on Praetor Rykard, if you want to use his remembrance to craft the blasphemous sword, I might I might end up making a new character just so they can start using the blasphemous sword. Ooh, I just realized. Wait a minute. Hold on. Or is it Blasphemous Blade? Yeah, Blasphemous Blade. Hold on. What is it? What are its stats based on? Requires 22 strength, 15 dexterity, and 21 faith. My faith character that I have for Elden Ring might be able to take advantage of that sword, because I haven't taken out Praetor Rykard in my faith build save. Huh. I might need to boot up Elden Ring later. I still got Immortals of Avium to play, and then Skull the Hero Slayer as well, since we're done with Dragon's Dogma. So I got some other things that I want to play for you guys as well, while we're in between major game releases. Yep, everyone's favorite dragon to get 50,000, or is it 71,000 easy souls in an instant. Works best when you have a weapon that has bleed on it. And it's funny because these enemies thinking like, oh, that feels good. Until that bleed damage builds up, and then more than half of their health is gone all of a sudden. Bleed is very strong. It's very strong. And this is coming from a person that loves playing the magic character, loves making different builds and whatnot. Bleed damage is insane. And the fact that bleed damage scales up as your arcane scales up. Matter of fact, let's do this. Not bleed build, but just the whole concept of bleed in general. Hemorrhage. It's not even technically called a bleed. It's known officially as hemorrhage or blood loss. So let me see. Hemorrhage combined with its governing stat arcane is the only status effect and stat combo that stacks multiplicatively with itself. So, if you're increasing your arcane, you are increasing the amount of bleed damage you build up, and also the bleed damage that you build. Beautiful! So if you're having like a blood build, you use the exploit on her and got level 500. There's an exploit? There's an exploit? You got to level 500? I'm not even nowhere near that level. Think I prefer to call it bleeding than hemorrhage. I know. Bleed damage is so easier to say, and it's what everyone refers to it as. No one says hemorrhage. No one. Even though it's officially known as hemorrhage, no one refers to it as hemorrhage. Because it's like hemorrhage. Bleed. Bleed is easier on the lips. But bleed damage is very strong in the game. You know what's crazy, though? It's patched now. Not surprised. Not surprised. At least we have the giant bird we can kill in the Blood Palace area. Just fire a crossbow bolt at it, have the golden scarab on you, watch it purposefully run off of a cliff. That's an easy 13,000 runes in one go. Or if you're like me, you waited until you got to the end of the game, got the sacred relic sword, and then just used it on the Albinorks that were in that area. And that's way more runes than just firing at a single bird. And all you need is just the sacred rune sword, wave of gold, kill everything down the hill, then walk back up, rest. Not only does your FP increase back to max again, but the enemies respawn, and you just rinse, lather, rinse, and repeat as often as you want or until you get bored. And it's just like that. Not even that, as if someone's saying, I'm suffering from hemorrhage, I'm just going to assume you have, Oh, I see. But yeah, being able to farm for runes, using a sacred rune sword, and on the Albinorks, I mean, it's still one of the reasons why a lot of my builds, I'm going to be preparing them so that they can use that sword as well. Not everyone is capable of using it, but some of my builds are. And coincidentally, the thing with my faith build is that I distinctly went through the quest for Corrin and Gold Mask, because I wanted my guy to, in the end, wear only the Gold Mask stuff. So, mind you, he has like this tattered cloak over his shoulders. He's got the big Gold Mask mask. He's got all the trappings for his clothing, which is, you know, kind of barely anything, but not to the point where YouTube's TOS would get in trouble if I were to show it. But I got him to that side. I got him to be, he's my main faith build character. And I'm trying to remember. You know what? Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Because since I'm reacting to some stuff with you guys, I can look into some of this stuff since we're talking about Elden Ring. Elden Ring won't be the only thing that we watch. There's another game in there already. I think it's Dragon's Dogma because I was making a video. Hold on. I have yet to install Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I gotta do that when I get the chance. Hold on. Let me boot up my faith character. Let me see what I have on him real quick. All right. Gold, and I named this character Goldien, which is the word golden, but you know, split in. It is my third highest level character. My highest level character is my astrologer character named Grandolph, my first character with 260 hours in there. Second is my Unga of Bunga, who is my strength build, 135 hours. And then after him, it is Goldien, which is my faith character, with 100 hours. And Unga Bunga has 135. And then after Goldien, the one after that file is Malekith with a Q. And that's my most recent build. With 87 hours, a level 152. So if I boot up Goldien, that's some good whistling. Well, thank you. If I boot him up, Okay, what I have equipped on him is the Sacred Relic Sword. Why do I keep calling it the Sacred Rune Sword? Sacred Relic Sword maxed out. America's Hammer maxed out using the Erdtree Seal. And he has the Radiant Gold Mask, Gold Masks' Rags, Gold Bracelets, and Gold Waist Wrap. He's pretty much set up to wield all these different powers for this particular faith build. He also has the Godskin Peeler at plus 25, so I can use the Black Flame Tornado, which is very good across everything, even though I think I'm missing out on some particular incantations for him to use. Because I have Black Flame, Scouring Black Flame Blade, and Black Flame's Protection. I don't have another one where it's supposed to be this big explosion of Black Flames from me. So that's one that I'm missing that I'm going to have to go and find. I don't think I have... Sorry for the delay. I was doing some other things while the stream was on my speaker doing one thing. Okay. I saw chat going while I was doing this. I don't think I have Rykard's Remembrance. Because some of these remembrances I don't actually have actually have a use for because I wasn't gonna use them. So if I go over here, I have the Remembrance of the Natural Born, of the Grafted, of the Full Moon Queen, Star Scourge, Omen King, Black Blade, and Horalu. I don't have the Remembrance of Praetor Rykard. I don't have the Remembrance of that. So that means that's going to be one that I look for this particular character. And for this particular character, I'm probably going to keep ranking up his health simply because he's not wearing much armor. He's wearing the gold mask stuff, trust in the powers of gold and whatnot. So that's one thing I may look into making a character whose whole purpose is to use the blasphemous sword, blasphemous blade, because the blasphemous blade is still one of the best weapons out there for keeping you with full health, because when you kill enemies with it, you gain health back. And if you're in a full crowd, yeah, you're going to be getting all that health you lost back. So it's interesting. But let's move on to the next one. Stormvale Castle.
Don't just take classes.
Wait for it. Stormvale Castle.
Have fun storming the castle.
Think it'll work?
It would take a miracle.
Bye-bye.
I don't like traveling to places high up in Elden Ring. Just the fear of falling to my death is just too great.
Surprise, mother.
I hate that! I hate that room. I hate that room so much. You want to know why? Because when I went in there, I heard that dude chuckling in the background, and I thought, this man tricked me. And I'm in a room with this big old lumbering knight, and he's all like, yes, you get to die today. And then proceeds to murder me. And I'm like, no, I was trapped in here. I'm going to kill that guy the next time I see him. Wasn't until many other playthroughs later that I learned that if I allowed him to live and did this one quest line, I could get my hands on a free ancient dragon smithing stone. If I let him live. I was upset by the fact that I found out that this man was taking at least 2% of your runes every single time you died in Stormvale Castle. And I thought, nah, ain't no way you're gonna be taking all my stuff. So you can kill him and get all those runes you lost during the whole time you've been traveling Stormvale Castle back, or you can let him live and have a use for him later for a free Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone. But this room here, when I heard it close and I heard that chuckle, nah, was not fun.
Surprise, mother.
And I think it wasn't until when I tried to face him a second time, he got stuck on the hinge of the door. Like, it was open, but he got stuck on the hinge, and I just kind of let him try and hit me through the door, and just only slashed at him when I had the chance because it was far too risky. I was too low level to really survive a big hit from him. So I kind of cheesed him. Who came up with the idea for the birds to also have explosive barrels? Okay? Who came up with the idea for the birds to have explosive barrels that you can throw? And who came up with the whole walkway from the guard tower side of Grace? I forget the name. And you walk through this area and there's a whole bunch of barrels. And there's a bird in the distance who just throws a barrel at you that blows up all other barrels in one big massive napalm run. Who came up with that? Because there's iframes in this game, but not enough iframes for you to avoid the impact of a full-on explosion from these birds. I'm not a fan. I was never a fan of that. See? And if you survived, they attacked you with either their sword legs or just tried to peck you. And don't you be using no heavy weapon because you are not gonna hit them fast enough. I forgot that there were birds that could literally breathe fire as well. How does that work? You got birds that can throw barrels at you that can blow you up. If you survive, then those same birds try to murder you with their talons. And then you also have to incorporate the white version of those birds that either have swords on their legs or are capable of just straight up breathing fire on you while also flying away so you can't hit them. Magic was my friend going through this castle, simply because of those specific birds. Because magic can track. Okay, the big giant that leads on the pathway that's leading up to... Why do you want to know? You want to petition? You want to petition for them to get a raise? No. No, I don't. I don't. But the pathway where this giant is standing between those two soldiers that can also use wind with their swords... I don't think I've ever taken the main pathway up. I think I've taken the back way that goes right next to all the pots. I think I've taken that way and then taken on Godric. And then I would see the big giant dude behind. And I'm like, can he get through here? This might be a way for me to cheese him a little bit. Then I see that my magic power is not strong enough to kill him. So I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. The two dudes can get annoying at earlier levels, but the big giant dude, he can either roar at you to knock you down, or he's got, like, farther reach than you would have expected. And sometimes I found out the hard way. Yep. The pots. Why can they breathe fire? That's easy to answer. It's Mom, can I have loads of phoenixes? No, son, we have phoenixes at home. That's exactly what it is. Who knows why these creatures can do the things that they do? In other words, if you ordered phoenixes from Wish, oh, that's just terrible. Mute. Wait for it. I knew you were gonna do it. Safe light repair, safe light replace. Actually, hold on. All right.
Lend me thy strength, Oaken, lowly tarnished. I command thee, kneel!
See? So much dodging. So much dodging.
Truest of dragon.
Yep, there was dying there too. I feel that was overkill. I feel it was overkill for him to grab you, chomp on you, then slam you down, and then proceed to just barbecue your body while you're pinned under his arm. I'm like, you don't need to be that excessive. All right? That's excessive. That's excessive. All that poison. See, that's exactly what I did to Melania. That's exactly what I did to Melania. Using bleed damage and... Well, actually, it was... Yeah, using bleed damage until I got her. Certain Haitian madman took small inspiration from him. Hold on. Notifications. Okay. All right. Back to it. First run in with the giant golems and their giant arrows. Them jokers scared me. Cause my health wasn't that high. And my first encounter was thinking, okay, you just knocked me off of my horse. No problem. All right. So hiding was the first option. Then you got their weak point, which are on their legs. Sometimes it's on their chest, and sometimes you get a chance to do like a critical attack on it. But for me, I never got around to using that almost all the time. So it was really just hit him in the feet. And the ones that have like the big halberds where they either back up and they swipe at you, or they slam it into the ground and they just start running across. I'm thinking, so you mean to tell me these things can move fast? They can move fast. They just choose not to. That's a lot of distance covered trying to get to me. But once you take them out, it's a nice feeling. I still to this day wish we could have saved her. She asked us to go check on her dad at Castle Morn. We let him know. And then we come back and she's been killed. I really wish we could have saved her. There's an outstanding theory that the girl who's asking for Shabriri grapes is that same girl because they both can't see, they both have the same hairstyle. There's a standing theory that she's what is her name? Irina, I think her name is Irina. Is that same girl. Literally killed the man just to take his weapon. It be like that sometimes. Sure, you want to see people's storylines play out, but on the other hand, if I kill him, I can get some of his stuff. If I let him live, there's no guarantee I could get his stuff when he's gone. Kill him? Let him live. That's the dilemma. Save her? Wrong game, wrong NPC. You would think you'd be able to save her, but as we know from FromSoft games, there is no such thing as a happy ending. Ever! This place, Raya Lucaria. So you're riding through the forest, and then you get this one hunchback dude that's just riding on this horse, and he's just flailing and flying all around, just putting out this mist. Then you got the same type of individuals crawling across the ground, shooting these little skull globule things at you, and then, well, I'm pretty sure this animation will touch on it. These things. I hope Berserk has a happy ending. We can be finished with the trope, to be honest. Murata would be somewhat proud. Only time will tell with Berserk. I don't know where the story's at right now because I really haven't been following in a long time. But only time will tell to see if Guts can get a happy ending for all the pain and torment he's gone through. Casca as well.
Would you like to go with me?
I was terrified of these things. Part of me still is. The lobsters. The lobsters with their insane, impeccable aim. From distances no enemy should still have an aggro range for. Nope, nope, nope. Nope. I hate the Revenants. I absolutely hate the Revenants. I'm at a high enough level where I can contend with them now, but back then, when I was facing Revenants, them things were the bane of my existence. I feared those Revenants more than I did Rune Bears. So their ability to teleport, the constant hits. I never liked Revenants. Nope. He ain't gone. The aim of the sniper lobsters. No, I'm good. I snuck around. I think I snuck around this dragon because I was not at a level where I could take it on. I was scared. I was scared. I was scared. I grabbed it, snuck away, and then ran all the way back. I teleported back because I didn't want to run all the way with the chance of it seeing me. I ran. As soon as I got the key to get inside of the academy, I ran.
Wow, guys, what a great episode. It's me, it's your best friend. You can get 20% off all our merchandise by clicking the link below and using the code SPRING22. Is that good?
It lasts to the end of the month.
Oh, and it lasts to the end of the month. What month is it? June.
When I got to Raya Lucaria, I thought the whole place was beautiful. Then you get to the backyard and it's just full of nothing but walking corpses and dead people. Killed it at level 30. Those lobsters was like, are these lobsters or are there mantis shrimps? Their tracking is insane. Yeah, it is. Scarlet Rot. Scarlet Rot is strong! I wonder, can I create a character that just uses nothing but dragon communion magic? Because killing that one Scarlet Rot dragon and then using its Scarlet Rot breath, very few things are capable. Oh, Lord, I'm just now realizing. Oh, no! I'm just now realizing! A lot of my situations where I'm fighting, and I've been doing a whole bunch of fighting, I've yet to create a character with the idea of using Scarlet Rot, because there's very few enemies in the game that are completely resistant to Scarlet Rot. Some of them are resistant to poison, and on occasion, some may. I want to say that Melania is one of the few enemies in the game. You know what? Hold on. We're going to do some research. Which enemies are completely immune to Scarlet Rot? Because I know it's going to list it. Let's see. Scarlet Rot, mitigating, curing effects on enemies. Enemies that cause Scarlet Rot. Scarlet Rot immune. Alright, so Abductors are immune. Abnormal Stone Crusher. Banished Knight late game. Basilisk from the Lake of Rot. Broken Statue, Golem. Basically, non-human creatures are kind of immune to it. And creatures that don't have any skin to be rotted off, such as skeletons and spirit-type enemies. Let's see. Bosses. The only bosses that are unaffected by Scarlet Rot are... Oh, yeah, the crystals as well. Hold on. Golem, broken statue. Scarlet Rot resistant, but not immune. The Crystallians, they are resistant to it, but they're not immune to it. Because they're listed on the list of Scarlet Rot resistant. And a great deal of enemies are already susceptible to Scarlet Rot, especially. My suspicions were confirmed. The Godskin Duo, the Godskin Noble, and the Godskin Apostle. They are all susceptible to Scarlet Rot. They're vulnerable to it. I've never used Scarlet Rot against them, though. I'm just now realizing that I've never used Scarlet Rot against them. Radon is definitely susceptible to it because that's what allowed Melania to beat him. That and her pure skill. But Tree Sentinel, oddly enough, is also susceptible to Scarlet Rot, too. You know what? I may just make a character that just uses Dragon Communion stuff. Just Dragon Communion magics and whatnot. I may just make like a Dragon Communion-based character, just because. But the characters that the enemies and bosses that are completely immune to Scarlet Rot are... Oh, I thought Melania was immune to it. She's not. She's resistant to it, but she's not immune to it. So the ones that are completely immune are Electo, Black Knife Ringleader, Black Knife Assassins. Ginger. Kyushu, I am here. Good to see you. The Rock Meteor Bug bullied me. Need High Arcane, which is also good for bleed builds. Yes, High Arcane. Then get the Roar Talisman, improves the breath attack. Yep, got to get those as well. Yeah, see, with you guys' help, I'm already formulating a plan of what I'm going to be doing for a brand new Dragon Communion character. So, the ones that are immune are Electo, Black Knife Ringleader, Black Knife Assassin, Cemetery Shade, Commander O'Neill, Dragonkin Soldier, the Lake of Rot variation. Never faced the Lake of Rot variation because I don't like being in the Lake of Rot at all. Erd Tree Burial Watchdog. Elden Beast is just completely immune to it. Godfrey, First Elden Lord, and Golden Shade. Well, the Golden Shade of Godfrey, First Elden Lord. Guardian Golem, Moog, the Omen, Putrid Avatar, Putrid Crystallians. That's why you carry a hammer with you. Valiant Gargoyle and Valiant Gargoyle with Twin Blade, and Vike, Knight of the Round Table. These are the bosses that are immune to Scarlet Rot. Killing Melania with Scarlet Rot has the same energy as Sukuna killing Jogo with a fire arrow. Yeah, pretty much. Killing a boss with their very own element is the same. It's like, all right, let's see how strong you really are. If I use your own power against you. Now, mind you, I haven't been put in that situation yet because none of my files have gone to New Game Plus, and they probably won't for a while until I get through the DLC for all of those save files. But now I want to make a brand new character. But a lot of enemies, a lot of other bosses are resistant to Scarlet Rot. And I find it interesting that I don't see Ratigan in here. Ratigan is not listed. Interesting. The Elden Beast is completely immune to it, so you're going to need either Pest Threads and some better stuff. Renala, oddly enough, is resistant to Scarlet Rot, but I assume she's using magic for that. Moog, Lord of Blood, resistant, but I'm not surprised since he is one of the two born from America, along with Morgoth. Lich Dragon, Fortisax, Leonine, Misbegotten, Kindred of Rot, Glintstone Dragon, Smarag, Glintstone Dragon, Adula, Full-Grown, Falling Star Beast. But I feel like if you increase your arcane, enemies that are enemies that are kind of resistant to this can still become susceptible to it because your status effects are high enough where it can actually affect them. Use River of Blood. It's nerf. It's nerf. See, I already have Rivers of Blood on my bleed build, where I already have Eleonora's Pole Blade, which is, I want to say, even though River of Blood is a very good weapon, Eleonora's Pole Blade pulls out the stops with 3 whole different effects on it. Physical, fire, and bleed damage all at the same time. So you're just chewing through health bars with it. But back to Raya Lucaria. And you know what? We're probably not going to look at every single one of the Carbot animations because there's 75. There's something else that I want to watch because I want to talk to you guys about it. I hated that giant rolling pot the first run through Raya Lucaria because playing as a mage character, a lot of your armor doesn't have a lot of poise on it. So a lot of my moments of trying to use magic on it was pretty much negated simply because I just kept getting staggered. Not only by the giant jar, but also the numerous sorcerers and casters that were behind this jar that just kept pelting me with magic because those magics can track you while the giant jar is trying to mow you down. So my first run through Raya Lucaria was met with much opposition. Early days, I don't even want to get into it with this dog. My first run took me a couple of moments. You can probably use dragons as a blood save since arcane is what dragons use. True, but when I make character builds, I try not to diverge too much from the very purpose of which I create these characters. So with my blood build, it's mainly a katana based bleed weapon type deal. So I would still make a character that just predominantly uses Dragon Communion as a means for damage and whatnot, because I kind of just want to keep the motif still with those characters. When it comes to my magic character, he knows everything. All sorceries, incantations, and the God Flame stuff, knows all of it. Then I have my faith character, which predominantly uses faith incantations as well as weapons that have a big faith scaling on it, such as the Sacred Relic Sword and the like, with the exception of a regular weapon. So when the faith damage is not doing enough, then the Godskin Peeler can do all the rest of the work. Got a Unga Bunga build that just predominantly... It's what I'm really getting at. Long story short, what I'm really getting at is that a lot of the files that I could probably incorporate stuff that I'm looking at right now, I prefer to have those files that are keeping with the motif that I've built them for. So if I'm using a build that is predominantly using katanas and wants to just use a whole bunch of bleed damage right then and there, sure, it can also take advantage of using Dragon Communion magics and whatnot, but it's not how I wanted to build the character for. So I would still wind up making a character that has that purpose in mind. That's the end goal for that particular character. And I don't mind playing through Elden Ring again because the game is that good. It is that type of game where you can create numerous saves simply because the game is just that good to play over and over and over again. Even if I have to play from level 1 all the way to where I need to be for my character to be incredibly strong. So I'll still just make a character specifically for Dragon Communion. This dog, however, I thought Sif was annoying at first when I was playing the first Dark Souls. But this dog is oh, you thought Sif was a problem? You thought Sif was an issue? Nah, I know how to do backflips. I know how to do underhanded sword swipes. I know how to throw out magic. And I'm very good at dodging. So if you're a magic caster, you better get used to seeing me flip around the room, avoiding everything you're shooting at me. That was me, many times, when I got to Raya Lucaria. Many times. Carbot met at Dragon's Dogma 1. Oh yeah, I've seen it already. It was one of the videos in one of the previous ones we just looked at. Once I get to 10 and we look at 10, we can check out the newest one that he put out. Also, that's another thing. Was anyone else creeped out when you saw the puppets? First of all, what's controlling them? Secondly, when you saw the puppets take enough damage and their whole bodies just go completely haywire and they start shaking violently, was anyone else creeped out by that? Just seeing them contort and start twitching all over like a horror movie monster? And then just seeing them go berserk around you? Was anyone else creeped out by that? Because there's something unsettling about seeing an enemy that seems to be moving smoothly with its movements. Then all of a sudden it starts contorting violently all over the place, and you don't know what it's going to do next. Maybe it's just me. It might just be me. This path got me too. This path just trying to go up, and at the time I didn't really gauge where the giant ball would fall and then what side of the bridge it would hit and what it wouldn't, so that way I could tell what was the safest path for me to go. So there were many times where I would get crushed repeatedly by this big rolling ball. Wait, you can roll through it? Hold on. He makes it seem like you could have rolled through that rolling ball at Raya Lucaria. Wait, could you roll through it? No. No, there's no way. There's no way. Wait, could you roll? No, don't tell me you could have rolled through it if you timed it correctly. Don't tell me you could have rolled through it, because I'm so used, because I don't think you could. I don't think you could. I tried rolling through things that technically want to roll over you, and I still get hit. Not unless my aim was wrong, but don't tell me you could have rolled through that safely. Don't tell me.
It's me.
So I could have just ran past him and have him fall through the opening in the elevator shaft if I didn't want to deal with him. I've been fighting that Carrion Knight every single time I come across him. Every time I've been fighting him. I could have just ran past him. That was an option. You know, it should be obvious. It should be obvious that that was an option, considering that it's worked on tons of other bosses before. Like, back in the Stormvale Castle, I remember when a Crucible Knight was chasing after me. and it felt, and I found an elevator that would take me up to the area where the Ruin Knight, I want to say Ruin Knight, no, Banished Knight. The Banished Knight was walking outside of the side of Grace where it had the halberd, and it's down the wooden steps, and it has that elevator that's all the way at the bottom. The elevator took me up, and then the Crucible Knight just fell straight through the floor. Oh, that's another thought. Since we're going to be getting that winged Crucible, what is it? Ash of the Crucible move where you fly up in the air just like the Crucible Knights do. Maybe I'll make a Crucible Knight build as well. On top of the one that's going to be using Dragon Communion. Maybe I'll make one that uses, that is basically based off of a Crucible Knight as well. Okay, so I got 2 things to do. Huh. Well, I don't mind. I love Elden Ring. It's a good game.
Your best friend. You can get 20% off all our merchandise by clicking the link below and using the code SPRING22. Is that good?
It lasts to the end of the month.
Oh, and it lasts to the end of the month. What month is it? June.
Next one. And this will be the last one, and then we got another. We got to look at the new one that he just made for Dragon's Dogma 2. And then we got something else that I want to look at, and something I kind of want to talk about. We'll talk about it. Camera targeting at its best with this Renala fight. The first instant of Comet Azure. I think I got killed by that. I think I got killed by that once when I was fighting Renala. Seeing that big old beam just fire out, I was thinking, no, you have an attack like that? Can I learn that? Maybe? I didn't realize it was a thing you could learn until much later in the game, but... Gajil, my friend, good to see you. Yep. That was before I learned that maybe I shouldn't be too close to her when she was using that move, and just be as far away as possible, and then just gone. Yeah, one shot and then just gone. I should be far away and avoid getting hit by that. There it is, there's the dodge. And then she just brings in spirit summons of her own. If it's not wolves, then it's a giant. And if it ain't giants, it's a big dragon at her disposal. Because you know that's fun. My thing is, this is a person that already has that whirligig saw weapon way from the Volcano Manor. So, how did your friend get that? Because you can't get that until you get to the Altus Plateau. And then proceed to the Volcano Manor and then go upstairs. Then it has that one red spirit that shows up, you kill it, and then it gets the whirligig. I know it's not called the whirligig, but for those of us who have played Bloodborne and the old Hunters, it's the whirligig. But, I mean, it's an effective weapon. It spins rapidly, as long as you got stamina, I believe. And against an enemy like Renala, who has basically no poise whatsoever, it's just endless. Okay, so I have an addition to one of my builds. You know what? This might be the weapon what's this? Wait, what is this weapon? What is this weapon? Hold on. I need to find out what this weapon is called. Weapons. I need to find out what this weapon is called. From the volcano. Okay, let me look up Volcano Manor. Let me look up Volcano Manor, and then the people who are there in the Volcano Manor. Bosses, Godskin Noble, God-Devouring Serpent, Rykard, Lord of Blasphemy. Never gave her a chance. Never gave her a chance to do that when you faced her. Oh yeah, I already know I get it from the Volcano Manor. I already know. I'm just looking through this list here for that particular red spirit name. Weapon. Serpent Bone Blade. That's not it. Serpent Hunter. Not it. Smoldering Shield. There's a Smoldering Shield? I didn't know that was a thing. Ah! Giza's Wheel. That's what it's called. Giza's Wheel. It's a colossal weapon. Scales primarily with strength and dexterity. Good weapon for dealing a great amount of physical damage, but will require great strength to handle as well. Weapon has a unique skill where it can be set to spin at top speed even while moving. All right. Rewarded from killing Phantom Inquisitor Giza in Volcano Manor. It causes blood loss! What? It causes blood loss. Yo, a whirligig that has blood loss. Spinning wheel has less bleed buildup per hit than normal attacks. It doesn't trigger the winged sword insignia, rotted winged sword insignia, Millicent's prosthesis, nor thorny cracked tear. Let's see. Colossal weapons poise damage has been reduced as of 1.08. Scaling values of this weapon were changed as of 1.09. The fact that this thing has blood damage in general. Even though the blood loss has less bleed buildup per normal attacks when you're using the spinny wheel, it still's got the buildup. This might be the weapon I use for my... This might be the weapon I use for my Dragon Communion character. Hold on. I might need to make my way to the... I might need to make a character and have this be the main weapon. Can be upgraded by using somber smithing stones. All right.
Can I do your makeup? Or change your name? Respect or something?
Can I do your makeup? Or change your name? Or something? Might have to grab that. It's at the Volcano Manor, bruh! It's at the top. It's literally at the Volcano Manor. Just go upstairs and defeat Inquisitor Giza. He's got it. He's got it right up there. He'll invade as soon as you go all the way upstairs. It's literally in the same room with the Sign of Grace, right across from, what's-her-face, standing off to the side. Just go up the stairs, fight him, you get the wheel of the Giza's Wheel. You know what? Seeing all this stuff is making me rethink how I'm going to do some of these newer builds for Elden Ring. It's making me rethink that. Also, we reached the 10th video. Let's see about looking at the one he just did for Dragon's Dogma. Actually, you know what? It's probably best if I just go back to this main stuff that he's done. So I tried Dragon's Dogma 2. Only PS5 users are allowed to watch.
Master, there's a treasure chest over yonder. Where? Hey, look, a chest.
There's no chest.
Oh, cool, a chest.
Shut up!
I know the way, Master.
I literally just had that happen to me earlier this morning. I took my main guy all the way through that cavern back entrance into Batal just so I can get to the Dragon Forge. And one of my, you remember Natsu from my last playthrough, one of the pawns I was having traveling with me, somehow he fell off a ledge and fell to a lower ledge. I looked down and it was very dark out, mind you. It was very dark out. Didn't help that my window was open and the sun was shining through, so my ability to perceive shapes in a dark environment with only a lantern on in Dragon's Dogma was, you know, next to none. So I see Natsu and I see him down there and it's saying like, oh, he's at the bottom. So I managed to jump off the cliff. Trudy's already down there. She catches me. Props to Trudy. She catches me and I'm looking for Natsu and it turns out he's actually on a higher ledge. He just fell down a shorter height. So I can't get to him. I can't get to him at all. And we're fighting a Drake, which decides to run away when it barely has any health left. I should not have gone through that path as a trickster. As fun as the trickster is, I have absolutely no full combat capabilities. And when we need that extra damage, trickster ain't doing it. Trickster is good support and pure support. Unless you're playing a Warfarer, trickster is not on the cards when you're trying to go with a full party that is capable of dealing damage, unless you know for sure they're going to be killing the thing you're trying to go after. Trickster is fun, but the more I play Trickster, the more I realize that I want to kill stuff too. And an extra pair of hands slashing at the heart of a Drake is going to ensure that the Drake doesn't fly away and run away. I can just kill it right then. So as soon as I boot my game up again, well, not really boot it up because I put on a magic archer in order to take it on, but I might switch right back over to thief simply because being able to deal all that damage, being able to activate a skill that essentially gives me the body flicker technique from Naruto where they try to hit me, I'm immediately behind them and then I can just stab them in the back. And then you have the spin jump from Sonic the Hedgehog, where I'm just basically slashing right ahead with multiple hits with one move. I feel like Thief is just way too good for me to not use, especially when I have the weapons that are already maxed out, the gear that is already maxed, and the capabilities of playing that particular vocation. Trickster was fun, all right? Trickster was fun, but the more I played, the more I'm like, I prefer to be in the action, dealing damage. I like to be the person that deals the final blow against the boss. You can blame Relink for that, but playing Trickster, it's like, I'm gonna wave my sensor around, fill the area with smoke, distract all the enemies, and then you guys kill it. I can't do anything. If I even hit an enemy with my sensor, which I can do, it does damage, but it's like maybe 1 or 2 points at a time. And a lot of these enemies be having hundreds upon thousands of bars of health. 1,000 points of health. Thousands of points of health. So the Trickster, while it was good for me at first, I can't keep using it. Because I'm going to be purposefully looking for fights. And if my own pawns who are fighting with me are not dealing that one particular hit or aiming that at that one particular spot, I got to do it. I got to be the one to do it. Anyone else been in that situation? Your pawns are being very helpful, but some of them are not aiming at the exact spot you need them to aim at. And if you're playing a Trickster, you can't rush in and go for that one spot because you don't deal any damage. You are the distractor. You are the person that distracts the enemy, makes them fight each other. But if it's against like a Drake or a Griffin, sure, you can use your sensor to empower the people that are around you, but you can't actually take advantage of that buff because it doesn't work on you because you are not the damage dealer. So the more I spent with Trickster, the more I regret feeling like it's going to be one of the ones that I stick with a whole bunch. Because I love being a part of the action. I love being a part of the action. I love being the one that says like, okay, you guys are shooting at it. I'm going to climb on top of its head and embed my knives directly in the base of its cranium repeatedly until it throws me off. then I'm going to keep slashing at its heart so that way it falls over, and then I'm just going to continuously stab it in the chest. Whereas if I was a trickster, I would just be watching all this stuff happen. And on occasion, buffing my allies so that they can gain some more damage while they can gain some more damage buffs while they're fighting this Drake. So a trickster was nice while it lasted, but I don't see myself using it simply because I need to be in the action. I need to be fighting. Not watching from the sidelines, but I need to be fighting. And all that from seeing these pawns fall down the ladder.
I know the way, Master. This way. Let me help you, Master.
Okay. So can I say something about Dragon's Dogma? I just finished the game yesterday, so I can give my opinion on the game while also giving you a bit of a review on what I liked about the game and what I didn't like. Okay. So okay. So seeing right here, this is the prime thing that I feel I'm not a fan of. And I feel seeing everyone run ahead of you as if they don't have any equipment weights, and then you're running, you're doing good, and then you get tired again. The equipment weight thing is worse than the last game. The equipment weight thing is worse than the last game, because the last game in Dark Arisen, my encumbrance was either light or very light. And I remember carrying a lot of things on my person, a lot of heals and stuff, but I feel they massively reduced the weight that you can carry. And I feel for a game that's going to be having you going back and forth numerous places all the time, you're picking up a whole bunch of stuff, which starts to add on to your weight. That I can understand. Carrying a whole bunch of stuff all at once will add on to your weight. However, I feel like there are far too many things in the game that will make you overly heavy very quickly. There are skills that make it so that you can carry more weight. There are ways for you to decrease the weight of your weapons and your gear through dragon forging, which is helpful at the end of the day. But if all of my gear is light, I no longer gain extra encumbrance weight through level ups, which I found incredibly weird, and I thought it was so limiting. Because you could, when you leveled up, I think it was around maybe level 30 or maybe 40, when you stopped getting boosts to your overall weight limit, so you could carry more stuff, it just flat out stopped. And I'm thinking to myself, so you don't want anyone actually being very light. Because in order for you to be very light, that means you would have to sacrifice tons of consumables that will keep you safe. Tons of consumables that will keep you safe. Now, of course, your height and your weight of your character can also contribute to this, but I feel like there's not enough golden trove beetles for your overall weight limit to be increased. Even worse, when the fact that using one of these beetles only gives you an additional 0.15 kilograms to carry. So it's not like you get one of these and it's a 0.50 increase. Then another 0.50 is 1 full kilogram. So that adds on to it. These things are 15 kilograms apiece, and you can find them all over, yet at the same time, I've consumed at least well over maybe 20 or maybe even 30, because I've found tons. My pawns have found plenty of them. Trudy, I didn't really give many to, yet her weight has always been better than mine. But I feel like with the weight limit thing, I am not, after playing games like Skyrim, where being over encumbered pretty much eliminates your ability to run, not even, let alone sprint, but run and sometimes jump if you're just over encumbered. Sometimes you'll be so heavy you can't even move. I feel like with the weight levels, I'm not a big fan of, like, with each weight level, you become slower and slower and slower in a game where you're required to travel on foot a whole bunch of places if you're not using an ox cart. And don't be in a situation where you are overly heavy and you're trying to fight something that is very fast. You won't be able to run from it. And there's some other things about Dragon's Dogma that I just found incredibly annoying from like a gamer standpoint that I feel could have been rectified if they added in certain things that would have made life not easier, but less annoying. So there's a thing called knockback resistance in the game that makes it so that your ability to be knocked back is lessened more and more. Yet, I can create a whole thing of gear for my character, and I can find myself either getting smashed by a monster, and my ability to get up quickly is prolonged. There's a whole skill that makes it so you can get up faster, but I feel like the more I level up, that should be something that builds up and gets better for your character as you level up. Not me using a one skill that makes it so that, oh, you can crawl around quicker, or you get up faster after being smashed into the ground by an ogre or a cyclops. Because let me tell you, the downtime it takes for, and you guys have seen it, especially if you've been paying attention to my series I did on the game, the downtime of me being smashed into the ground, and then I'm just crawling across the ground like I'm so hurt. Like I haven't been smacked around by a minotaur and hit on a wall, and then I just get back up. But there have been times where I'm just crawling on the ground, and then these enemies take advantage of that fact, and they continue to slap me on the ground. Goblins and hobgoblins are famous for this. They'll knock me on the ground, and while I'm trying to get up, they'll take advantage, and they'll just start curb stomping me the whole time. During my second to last stream of Dragon's Dogma 2, there was a mission where I was supposed to escort one of the characters to the palace to try and dispel this statue that was causing these incredibly overpowered hobgoblins to spawn in the area. They were killing people left and right. They killed the person I was supposed to escort, so I had to spend a couple of wake stones, because that person kept dying. Enemies were absurdly strong, and what made it worse was the NPC kept trying to fight these things instead of making for the objective so we could get it knocked out. But one of the things that happened, and I even made a short of it, was I got knocked into the water inside the main area of the palace, and these hobgoblins knocked me down, and I couldn't get up. The damage they dealt was substantial. Like, my bars was about that big, and they kept taking whole chunks out of my health, and I could not get out. There's no dodge roll for your basic vocations to get out with. You don't really have a real good... Because I was playing a sorcerer vocation. You don't have any defensive capabilities of getting out of a situation quickly. You don't have a move where you can just repel enemies away from you, which would have been nice. You don't have anything like that. You can't just dodge roll or even cancel jump out of an animation real quick or anything of that nature. You are just left at the hands of the enemy for an extended period of time until you're either dead or until they stop hitting you and you find a small window for you to run. But I tried that once. I tried to run away from them, and one of them literally used their own version of Stinger and found me and killed me. And I'm like, this is actually frustrating. As much as I like Dragon's Dogma 2, there were many moments that I just found incredibly frustrating. Don't even get me started on the Sphinx incident, because I'm not going to talk about that until I kill it. But, yeah. The whole encumbrance thing, especially if you're having a very, very big map, the last thing you want to be concerned with at every turn, especially if you're deep into an area in a game like this and you're heavy, is thinking, do I need to use a fairy stone to go back to town, or do I keep going with this over encumbrance? I am not a fan of over encumbrance in any game. It doesn't need to be that realistic, where if you're carrying a whole bunch of things, you get weighed down. It's a game where you're fighting dragons and ghosts and stuff. It doesn't need to be so realistic where you're contemplating, how many heals can I carry with me? But that's just me. I'm sorry I went on a whole tirade, but it's just, these sort of things just bring these questions out to me.
Where are you going, Master? The quest is this way, silly.
I shall launch you to greater heights. Okay, I'll follow you, Master.
Where are you going, Master? Look, Master. A ladder.
What is it with pawns and ladders, huh? You don't need to point out a ladder every single time we walk past one. I know what it looks like. That's going to be a meme. That's going to be a meme at this point. Pawns and ladders.
Look, Master, a ladder. I wonder where this ladder leads.
Don't worry about it. We're trying to find out who's trying to murder me.
But, Master, this ladder could lead to something wonderful.
What? What? Stop pointing out ladders.
Look, Master. A ladder. I'll save you, Master.
Your wrist has been set on fire. Don't
You should really use a code.
I thought something was wrong with the video, but it's the video telling you that the frame rate for Dragon's Dogma is low. Can I be the first person to say this? There is no excuse for why a game like Dragon's Dogma is running under 60 frames. All this stuff is happening at a low frame rate because of all of the stuff that's happening on screen all at once. And I'm wondering, so you made a game with the full intent of it being below performance level in terms of frame rate and smoothness because you want the game to look good. Mind you, the game looks great, but I am not of the mindset of thinking, okay, if the game looks great, then I'll accept that. I've played way too many games where Elden Ring runs smoothly at 60 frames. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League runs smoothly at 60 frames. Unless I'm using Joker's Razzle Dazzle Traversal on a whole bunch of enemies, and then it starts to hit a slowdown. But Dragon's Dogma is the newest big open world game from Capcom. And y'all couldn't get this thing to run at 60 frames. The cutscenes run at a smoother frame rate, and that's in-engine. So why? Why not have this thing run at 60? They're talking about improving frame rates, performances later on, but I'm like, why not just have this working well right out of the gate? Why not 60 frames? Why not? And people, and I know people tend to say, well, it's not a big deal with 60 frames. It kind of is. It kind of is. Because the last thing we need is for a whole bunch of particle effects to happen on screen, finding a whole bunch of enemies, and then your game slows down because it's having too many NPCs on the screen all at once doing 10 different things all together. And then the game starts chugging because it's trying to compensate for all of that. I feel like if you as a developer are making a game, the last thing you want is for your game to have to compensate and slow down to accommodate all the things you have happening on screen all at once. Just make a game that runs smoothly.
I'll save you, Master.
Your wrist has been set on fire. Don't
You should really use a coaster,
Guide is
Master.
most welcome. Looks like we have enraged our foes.
Literal lag.
Interesting. You're on a different location. Why is it a different route? You should really use a coaster.
Master, when I was in a different... Well fought, Arisen. Up top.
This episode is sponsored by, what? You guys. Wow, thanks so much for supporting us on Patreon all these years. We really, really appreciate it. If any of you out there haven't done so, you could try doing that. It's really, really cool. There's some rewards and cool stuff, and you can have your picture taken. I mean, drawn, not taken. And then you get some other stuff too, maybe. It's cool and it helps us a lot. Thanks so much. Okay, bye.
That was good, because it pointed out a lot of things that I felt was like, okay. So, one of the other things that I wanted to check out was the Star Wars Outlaw trailer, because I want to talk about it. 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 Let's bring up the story trailer.
They're distracted by a rebellion that won't quit.
All right, so captured in engine, not all images appear in game. So, captured in engine, not all images appear in game. So what that means is that not everything you see during the story trailer is going to be in the game at all. There's no still images in this story trailer. So what it's basically meaning that not all images appear in game. Not all places you see in game will be in the game. Then why show it? Not everything you see in this trailer will be in the game. Then why show it? It took me watching someone else react to it to realize that's what that meant. Not all images appear in game. Not everything you see in this trailer will appear in the actual game itself. Why show it? Also, look at that dislike ratio. 33,000 likes to 108,000 dislikes. Not even Suicide Squad story trailer had dislikes down there. This trailer just dropped 3 days ago.
Each of you represents some of the most powerful criminal organizations in the galaxy.
Don't get used to this cutscene. It may not be in the game.
Crimson Dawn, Huts. It's a golden age for the underworld. The Empire controls...
Don't get used to that image. It might not be in the game either.
But they're distracted by a rebellion that won't quit. It's an opportunity to make millions.
Kay Vess, the underworld's favorite new scoundrel. We meet at last.
Kitty!
Zarek Besh. They're new, rich, and lethal. You crossed their boss Sliro, and now he wants you gone. Rob his fortune and buy your freedom.
This job, it's a death wish. I'm in.
It didn't look right.
Out here, you live and die by your reputation. You want to survive? Know the players.
You're new to this world.
What's your problem?
Come back when you're not.
Daba, right? Look, don't try anything. I got a whole crew surrounding the... Okay, we're skipping that part. For about as long as I can remember, it's just been me and Nix. Doing what we have to survive. This job is my one shot at freedom. But if we're gonna pull this off, we need the right crew. And the right ship. Yes! Hang on.
I hire you because you are one of the best hunters in the Outer Rim.
She's more connected than you let on, Sliro. Bess is mixed up in something bigger.
The Outer Rim is a dangerous place. Everyone is fighting for their piece of the galaxy. But all I want is to live free. So I'm gonna risk it all. Hold on, Nick!
Star Wars Outlaws, pre-order available now.
So, let me be honest. I have no interest in Star Wars Outlaws. I don't. I have no interest in Star Wars Outlaws. Because this was back when I was still playing Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. I remember we were having a conversation about a rumor going around. This was about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. There was a rumor going around saying that Ubisoft will be developing an open world Star Wars game. And like I said in my community post, I was both excited, yet at the same time apprehensive, simply because I know the record of Ubisoft when it comes to their open world games. Their open world games tend to be bloated and filled with stuff that gets repetitive very quickly. That's the reason why I've fallen off of the Far Cry series and why I have absolutely no interest in Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, because it's simply just another Far Cry game. But the potential of an open world Star Wars game was vast, because you could have done anything. You could have done anything, literally anything else than what you're doing right now. You could have given us an open world Mandalorian game. You could have. The opportunity. People like the Mandalorian. People would love to be a bounty hunting Mandalorian, being able to upgrade your armor over time from like basic stuff to like high grade Beskar, hunting targets across the galaxy, having dogfights in space when you get your quarry and you're running from people who are trying to take that back. Run-ins with the Empire, or you can have it set during the Clone Wars, or whatever. There's just so many things you could have done. You could have given us an open world game where we're either a Jedi or a Sith, and we're experiencing a story that joins the two, but from two different sides, that, you know, you decide whether it's the Sith who prevail or the Jedi who prevail. There are so many different things that you could have done. But we're getting yet another game where it's like, oh no, it's a downtrodden individual who's just trying to survive and trying to make it in the universe. And I'm like, I feel like we've seen this trope way too many times already. You do realize that Han Solo isn't the only archetype you need, the only archetype to use for a Star Wars character, right? We don't need another Han Solo type character. Han is gone, yes, but, you know, in the current continuity, but during this time when Jabba the Hutt's still alive, Han is still here. Why create another character who's trying to be another Han Solo? That was family. Dad came home from work. He's not feeling well. Apparently he's not looking too good either, at least from his face. I think he's been under the weather lately, so he's just here resting now. So he's fine. He's fine. It's just that I'm grateful he's getting his rest. Asmund Gold said it well. No one cares about Star Wars without Jedi. It's crazy, right? No one cares about Star Wars without Jedi or people who are not trying to be Han Solo again. Have I looked at Tales of the Kenzera Zhao? I've seen it when it was on the Game Awards, I think, but I haven't seen like the trailer for it. But, you know, Asmongold is not wrong, because the biggest thing to take away from Star Wars for people is you think of either the Jedi or the Sith or Mandalorians or bounty hunters or whatnot. Sure, you have Han Solo, but you don't really think of other characters who are trying to be like Han Solo. And sure, I feel like there's just a far bigger appeal to Star Wars when you include characters that are just not normal. Because I think we've seen so many abnormal things in Star Wars that is the new normal. And then when you switch to characters who are just regular normal, it's not as exciting. Because then you're just dealing with normal things. You won't be seeing this character interacting with any Jedi or Sith. I highly doubt it. Meanwhile, in Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, that was your Jedi/Sith type gameplay a little bit. Especially with Fallen Survivor, where you had access to the dark side as a straight up one-shot everything type rage mode. That was great. But when you create Star Wars games that try to dip into like the normal side of things, it's just not as exciting. Because we're so used to seeing Jedi with their ability to use the Force and, telekinetically lift things in the air, or see the Sith that Force choke a person from across the galaxy, or in another part of the ship, or you see them literally hold a ship and bring it down. You see Force lightning, all these different abilities that go beyond the norm. That is the normal for Star Wars. You get bounty hunters like the Mandalorian or Jango Fett or Boba Fett, and it's like, okay, these people may be normal, but what they do is not. See, these people hunt people down. They are some of the best in the galaxy. You got people like Cad Bane and Dengar and Bosk and Aura Singh, and then you have IG-88. You got the Fets, and then you have and then you have Mando himself, and then of course you have the other Mandalorians out there. These are normal people. Well, to a degree. There is something in my eye. I gotta get it out. You got these normal people that don't do ordinary things. So when you decide to make a Star Wars game where it's an ordinary person doing ordinary things, it's not exciting because that's not what we're used to. And I'm not saying that that's an issue. It's just that when you say you're going to make an open world Star Wars game, I'm expecting something big. This is literally a main character who's all like, oh, I need to buy back my freedom. Why? I'm pretty sure that'll be explained later, but it's just that I'm tired. Star Wars is beyond just being a normal franchise. Jedi and Sith, their fights, all that's where it's at. Mandalorians, they literally canceled a potential Mandalorian first-person shooter game, and they're focusing on this, which upsets me because a Mandalorian game would have been a much bigger and better change of pace than just trying to create a version of Jedi Fallen Order without any Jedi in it. Can I say it like that? I feel like this is what this is. After playing Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, seeing how they were going big with the scope of the world and everything, and I look at this and I'm like, this is basically just Jedi Fallen Order, except it's done with a normal person who does normal things that probably won't be as exciting as Cal Kestis jumping and flipping everywhere with the power of a Force user, using a double lightsaber, dual lightsabers, a saber and a pistol, a heavy blade, or just literally anything that excites us about Star Wars, Main character is also butt ugly, and then you add on that they're trying to get you to subscribe to get the game. It's just a huge L. My thing is, why are there so many editions for Star Wars Outlaws? Let alone, one of the things I found out was that it requires a internet connection just for you to install the game. Not an internet connection for you to hold on. Where is it? Let's see here. What is season pass? Expand your galaxy journey with a season pass. Unlock 2 additional narrative expansions coming after launch, a day 1 exclusive mission with Jabba, and additional cosmetics for Kay and Nyx. Only available for pre-order with Gold or Ultimate Edition or with Ubisoft Premium. Why? They want you to sign up for Premium? 3-day early access with Ubisoft Premium. See, the last game I got that was 3-day early access was Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League. As much as I love the game, regardless of how everyone thinks about it, from Angry Joe all the way down, I don't care. I like the game. However, it is the last game I will be getting that is a live service DC game, or basically live service with like a $70 to $100 price tag. That's the last time I'm doing that. It's the last time I'm doing that. I'm being so serious. So, with Ubisoft Plus Premium, the Gold Edition or the Ultimate Edition unlock up to 3 days of early access and other additional content, including the Season Pass and more. 2 upcoming DLCs. I think we should be wary about them talking about a Season's Pass before the game is launched. And I haven't blinked because I got to get this thing out of my eye. I got to get this thing out of my eye. Hold on. I'll be right back. Let me get this thing out of my eye real quick. We'll continue to talk about this because I really need to talk about this whole nature of what they're doing. So give me a sec. Okay, I'm back. Mickey Mouse Wants Your Money. I feel like a lot of movies have lost a lot of punch. They have. They really have. A lot of movies are trying to be safe nowadays, trying not to offend anybody, trying to be like okay for everyone, and then appealing to no one. But back to this. So, Seasons Pass, I am always really wary about games that say like, hey, we got a Seasons Pass, but the game hasn't been launched yet. Normally, people with common sense would wait until after. Ultimate Edition is $130. So what is a part of this edition that demands $100? Here's the thing. This costs more than the deluxe edition for Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League. Why is this $129? It's $140 to fully own it. AAA experience strikes again, just like with Dragon's Dogma 2, half-inch product, and then fast DLC. Half finished? I wouldn't call it half finished. I just think it's poor. If you're saying half finished, because the game is finished, it's just that the one thing really holding it back is its own performance. So I wouldn't lump in Dragon's Dogma with something like this, especially at this price. Dragon's Dogma is still a good game, it's just that the performance hampers it. The problem existed for Jedi Survivor, but I believe they fixed that as well. But $129 for an Ultimate Edition. So here's, matter of fact, let me see. There we go. So compare Star Wars Outlaws Edition. So you have a standard edition with the pre-order bonus. which is a cosmetic pack for your speeder and a cosmetic for the Trailblazer spaceship. Then you have the Gold Edition, base game, pre-order bonus, 3-day access, and then the Season's Pass. Jabba's Gambit exclusive mission available at launch. The Kessler Run character pack that goes with the previous game. I mean, with the Standard Edition. Then you have Rogue Infiltrator Bundle. What is that? Cosmetics. More cosmetics. And an art book. Something's not right. So they're adding in the price of 2 different cosmetics along with a digital art book. So the digital art book is $10 extra. And the 2 bundles are $10 extra as well. So the 2 cosmetics are 10 apiece. No. The 2 cosmetics are 5 apiece. And then the other one is 10. And that adds up to $20 extra on top of this? But why 130? This makes very little sense to me. It's funny how the deluxe edition of Kill the Justice League is still cheaper than the gold edition of Outlaws. It's still cheaper. Day 1 with Ubisoft Plus. Yeah, don't fall for it. Don't fall for the Ubisoft Plus thing. Ultimate Edition, base game, season pass, 2 cosmetic bundles. You know what's messed up? They are really... Hold up. Jensen, enhance, please. Enhance. I know why they're making it so expensive. Zoom in. Come down here. Look at this. Hold on. Look at this. I know why they're making it so pricey. Look at the cosmetics that they're adding on. I told you they're trying to make another Han Solo. I tried to tell you. They can't let go that Han Solo is the superior outlaw scoundrel character. So, what you have here, look at it. Pawn should have had at least 10 different ways, each of the 4 voices to tell you that there's a ladder, but instead we got 4 different ways. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's not just a performance of DD2. The story seems half-baked. The world is not very interactive. Talk to 5 NPCs and you'll get duplicate lines because not so much voice acting went into it. That's because the attention to detail did not go into the NPCs. It went into the, pretty much the enemies when you think about it. Because a lot of NPCs you run into, they're saying like, I don't want to talk to you. Or like, oh, what do you want? Or something. Or yes, you do run into duplicate lines. But it is still leagues better than what Outlaws is trying to do from like a front-facing standpoint. But the thing I want to note real quickly is how they really can't let go and try and have this character be their own character, even with cosmetics, is that they're giving her Han Solo's outfit and also giving her Lando Calrissian's outfit too. Because if you look in the Seasons Pass, you see Jabba off to the side, and then you look at her outfit, that is basically Han's outfit. And then the Ultimate Pack has basically her dressed up to look like Lando Calrissian. So... we lost a potential Mandalorian game for this. If you're willing to take the risk, the galaxy is full of opportunity. Watch the amount of opportunities you have to be like a big name in the underworld is going to be severely limited, and you'll never reach up to the status of many other famous people in Star Wars. It's just its own contained story. They're going to hit you with a gym, Adobe membership, where they can make it hard to cancel, and if you cancel, there will be a fee. They're just like sharks. Kind of reminds me of the people in charge of Unity that said, like, from now on, we're going to be charging these developers money every single time a person installs a game. Every time. Wait, you said it was a girl, right? Yeah, it's a girl. It's a girl, but they're dressing her up to look like Han Solo with some of the cosmetic packs and dress up to look like Lando Calrissian. Because we got to hit that nostalgia note for players. Who cares if our gameplay is more or less the same, as long as we include outfits that make them look like famous characters in different video games? They couldn't give her the outfit that Leia had on. Like, see right here, this is her outfit. The Kessel Runner character pack essentially makes her look like Han. And then in the Ultimate pack, it'll make her look like Lando Calrissian. You think maybe they're trying to make a female Han Solo because of equal rights? I said that the moment this game was revealed. I said that they were trying to make a female Han Solo. We already have a Han Solo, so let's make a female one. We already have a Luke Skywalker who's destined to be the greatest Jedi out there aside from Anakin Skywalker, so let's make a female one. Rey. So this is just another instance of that. And here's the thing, I don't have a problem with women characters being like the main focus points of a video game. I just feel like if you're going to do it the right way, and not in a way where Star Wars, the care for Star Wars is at a low. Because I can't speak for everyone, but I'm just saying, stop trying to make these girl boss moments in video games and movies when girl bosses never work out in video games and movies. Because it never really resonates with anyone if you're trying to create these types of characters for that distinct purpose. Like, we've seen it done in TV shows and movies before, and no one likes these characters. No one with a brain, actually, to be quite honest with you. No one with a brain likes these type of characters. They come off as incredibly pretentious, incredibly annoying, and people don't like them simply for existing because they were built to be that way. Not to be a character that we can resonate with, that we can grow with, that one that realizes that mistakes can happen and you learn from these mistakes. Not characters who are supposed to be faultless, never make a mistake, everyone congratulates them at every single time, because that is what you need to teach the young women of the world today. They create characters that are like, well, we already have a Han Solo, so let's make a female version. That's going to go over well. Because you can't tell me you created this character with never thinking of Han Solo in mind. ESG will give them the money that regular people not buying won't. Why does this girl give me Starfield vibes? Because the way the animation plays out gives you Starfield vibes. Now, there is some good animation, like this dude here. Let me come back. This dude talking here, the animation is quite nice. But the thing that also concerns me is that the fact that not all images appear in-game. So I can tell what is not going to appear in-game and what is just made to look cinematic. Like this right here, this looks like an actual cutscene, but you'll probably never see this place or the situation in-game simply because it's just made for a trailer. And given how good graphics are right now, a lot of people are going to be thinking, wait, I saw this in the trailer, but how come it's not in the game? Even though they're clearly saying it's not going to be in it. So let me go to her face. Let me go to her face. Okay, girl bosses can work if they are written well. Most girl bosses are basically just live action Man of Steel. See, that's the thing. What determines What determines how well girl boss characters can work in TV shows and why we really haven't seen good ones all that often is simply because the people who write them can't write. If you can't act, then you write. And if you can't write, then you do something else. That's all there is to it. But the reason why a lot of people don't like the girl boss motif for characters is because a vast majority of them are written poorly. See, a good character is not one who is perfect with absolutely no faults. Made to be this vivified and deified character that everyone just respects and worships just for existing. A good character is one that can have faults, that can learn from these faults, and grows as an individual. One that can understand that I'm not perfect, therefore I should not expect everyone to accommodate for my perfectness. I should learn how to relate to the people around me as a character so that the people who are watching this series or playing this game can be all, I understand where she's coming from. She understands her issues and she's going to work through them. Those types of characters can grow as a character, characters that one can respect. It's the ones that are written to be so pure perfect that they have no faults, that even if they make a mistake, they will never admit to it, and everyone else will just sweep it under the rug. Simply because she's that good. Hate those characters. Because it's an insult to people who actually write good characters. There's a lot of good good women characters in fiction. From Lara Croft to Ellen Ripley to Sarah Connor. There's a lot of good examples of characters who will have faults, who can make mistakes, but also learn from them, and go down in history as some of the most well-written characters in cinematic or video game history. It's annoying when we get characters that just come off as like, we're trying to make a woman version of this character, and we expect them to be as famous as that main character that they're supposed to be emulating. Superman in the comics is the type of guy that listens to a young woman with depression or helps a kid that is being bullied. He's caring and things go bad around him due to his good nature. Pretty much. Superman, people say like Superman is just a blue Boy Scout, but no, this dude is... The reason why Superman works as a character, sure, he's almost nigh invincible. Very few things can harm him. Things that can harm him have. And he's learned to fight against it. But he still keeps the mindset that even though he has this astronomically large amount of power, this man could literally fly across an entire universe in seconds, can pull worlds apart, could destroy entire planets if he wanted to. Yet not once does he get a god complex, because that's not how he was written. That's not how he was raised. He was raised to be an individual that sees things from a human level. And even though he knows of his own power, he still brings himself down to a human level because that's how he's learned as a character. Moments where he could go off, but thinks about the consequences. That's a character trait. Like his flaw is that he is too strong. So he has had to work his entire life to be less strong around those he cares about so that he doesn't destroy them on accident. You get characters like Rey that do numerously bad things throughout the series of Star Wars, and she never answers for any of it. Everyone just pats her on the back or consoles her saying like, it's okay, we're all sad. No one says like, why did you blow up the ship that Chewie was in? No one gets on her for that. Especially the people who knew Chewie. During the time when we all thought that Chewie blew up inside the ship, I was thinking, ain't no way she just blew up Chewbacca. And everyone's feeling sad, but no one gets mad at Rey because she blew it up. Last good girl boss character you remember was Lucy. She was becoming more and more OP as the movie went on. Lucy was a good example as well. I'm not saying we're all stupid, but just like men, we have our moments. We pretty much sussed out how to do female and more diverse characters during the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. And then going on from there, it's all like, well, we can't offend anybody anymore. We gotta appeal to everyone. We don't want anyone to get mad at our choices, because we want everyone to like what we do. We need to be accepted by every single person. So we're going to make sure we're the safest, most mundane insert property here because we don't want people who live on Twitter 24/7 to say they don't like us and their 100,000 followers to also say they don't like us, because then it'll turn into a hashtag and then it'll look bad on us. I applaud the people that don't care about what Twitter says at all, especially developers, because Stellar Blade is an upcoming game that has been under fire simply because the main character, Eve, has been cited by people who either don't have eyes or are jealous that the main character looks better than they do, has been called out for being too beautiful. Now, if these intelligent people actually did their homework, they know that the real mocap model for Eve for Stellar Blade looks exactly like her in body shape. Women do look like that. Looks exactly like her. Her face, however, is not the same as the actual of a mocap model, but the body shape, 1-to-1. And I haven't exactly seen her model right next to her gaming model, but I know enough. I know enough to know that her body shape is essentially the same. But it's just like, I'm looking at a game like this and I don't care, which is bad because I love Star Wars. I love Star Wars, but I'm looking at this and I don't care. I don't care about being an outlaw. If you made it so that it was a creative character, sure, fine, maybe. But at the same time, I feel like we missed a massive Mandalorian opportunity. Or a game that could essentially allow us to create a character who could be either a Jedi or a Sith and go down those paths. I just feel like... I feel like once Han Solo died in the Star Wars series, so did the appeal of outlaws in general. Can I say that Han Solo as a character carried the whole moniker of outlaw? You hate Stellar Blade because it's not on Steam. But I honestly feel like the whole outlaw moniker, like wanting to be an outlaw in Star Wars, lost all of its appeal when Han Solo died in the main continuity. Because now you don't have anyone that can either match up to Han Solo as a character in order to continue that trope. So now all we have left is either Mandalorian, Jedi, or Sith, and that's it. There are many other aspects to Star Wars, such as the Bad Batch, but as far as Han Solo goes, I feel like no one is interested in the outlaw side of Star Wars unless Han Solo is involved, because he made that whole trope and for Star Wars. So now we're getting another character that is supposedly trying to introduce that role once again, but it just doesn't feel right. To me, it just doesn't feel right. You got the vastness of Star Wars and all you can do is try to make another Han Solo? Do you not have ingenuity for a universe that has tons of ingenuity in it? And then it's Ubisoft, so I can imagine we're going to have a map that's just full of icons everywhere, a bloated interface screen, unless they looked at Elden Ring, who they chided for not having enough on screen to tell people what to do. Unless they take a page from... You know what would be really poetic? If Ubisoft actually creates a minimalist screen for their games. If they actually create a minimalist interface for this game. And if it's reminiscent from Elden Ring, that's going to be a whole bunch of irony, because some of the devs from Ubisoft were quick to say that Elden Ring doesn't deserve all of its high scores because it doesn't have all the stuff that Ubisoft game map has, with tons of icons all over the place and an overbloated screen where it distracts from basically everything you see on the screen. It'd be very poetic, very ironic if their interface is just as smooth and as silk as Elden Ring's. It'd be funny. However, my impressions of this game... Funny joke! I gotta watch that again from the Game Grumps. Even the lead designer of Stellar Blade is a looker and the creator's wife? Exactly. When Han Solo came back as a loser, you mean when we left him, he had the girl and he had the money coming back. The girl kicked him out and he's in debt. Before the sequel trilogy where they turn Han Solo into like a bad dad, their son was force sensitive and his uncle tried to kill him, which just goes against everything we know about these characters. Because the way that Han felt about Leia, they never would have separated. They would have stayed with each other. They wouldn't have separated. But the new trilogy needs to... I'm done. Oh, Kitty, gotta go. Catch you guys later. Till next time, Kitty. Hope you had fun. So glad that... hold on. That Elden Ring doesn't have a lot of markers on the map. See, here's the thing. When you open up the map, you can put a marker down, but it doesn't intrude on the screen. Like, you don't have this big blinking icon you can see out into the distance. The map bar above on the top screen for Elden Ring, it just shows you the direction you need to go in. North, south, east, west, and all the ways in between. It's just up there. It's not in the middle of the screen. You don't have any text on the side saying, like, go to Stormvale Castle. You don't have a mini-map. Well, you do. No, you don't even have a mini map. Hold on. I still got Elden Ring turned on my game. I still got it turned on. Let me go to the first step. You don't even have a mini map on Elden Ring letting you know what's in your immediate vicinity. No. All you have is your health bar and your stats and stuff, and then you have the stuff that's on the side. None of it is intrusive. You just got your items that you're using on the lower left side. You got your runes on the bottom bottom right side, and then you have your health bar and status stuff on the top left side. And then, of course, you have the little map bar that's just right there. But most that you see on the screen is just the game. And you have an option of making it so that if you're looking at your interface, you have it set to auto, and then all that stuff just disappears except for the map bar. So all that stuff that you could normally have just turned on completely will just fade away from the side. And all you have is the map bar so you can enjoy the vastness of the screen. But with a Ubisoft game, expect to see a mini-map. Expect to see objective markers intrusive on the side. Expect to see a whole bunch of extra stuff. Like I said, it'll be ironic if they clear their screen out and you don't see too much of anything. Social engineering, man. Show the people these broken relationships. Show the incompetent men. Show them these strong women, and they will work to become it. It's crazy, isn't it? But I said all that to say this. I look at this game, and I do not care. Like, I see this, and I do not care. Now, is this supposed to take place during the period of when Han Solo was taken and put up in Jabba's palace? Is this supposed to be between 5 and 6? Is this supposed to be taking place between 5 and 6? What's the storyline of this? What is the storyline of this game? Alright, let's see. Experience the first ever open world Star Wars game set between the events of The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Yep, it is. So that is Han Solo stuck there. So not only are we getting a game that is supposed to make you feel like a new Han Solo, but Han Solo is also in the game frozen in carbonite the entire time. So that's like, don't worry, Han, I'll take over for you while you're gone. Explore distinct planets across the galaxy, both iconic and new. Risk it all as Kay Vess, a scoundrel seeking freedom and the means to start a new life, along with her companion Nyx. Why does this sound like the beginning of Forspoken? Because in Forspoken, Frey was trying to risk it all and seek freedom and start a brand new life, and then her whole home burned down with all the money that she saved up, and then she went into like that whole brand new fantasy world. That game, I'm not going to get started on Forspoken because the whole narrative of that game was just quite dumb. It's quite dumb. Oh, my whole house is burning down. need to find my cat first before I pick up this bag full of money so I can also look for the cat, so I can still at least leave and just start my new life. No, I gotta find my cat first, leave the money behind, and then when I get my cat, I go back to grab the money, which I, for some dumb reason, leave on the floor. That way gets blocked and that whole place gets engulfed in fire. So all the thousands of dollars that I saved up to leave New York City just goes up in smoke, and now I am homeless once again. The narrative for Forspoken was dumb. She left the money to get the cat. The cat is not in the fantasy world. No. The cat isn't even in the cat is left with the judge. I'm like, if you are going to get your cat, and people have brought up like, well, if a fire is going on, you're going to want to make sure that everyone is fine. If you are trying to, you can multitask at the same time. You can multitask. That's an excuse. That's an excuse. Well, you won't be thinking about money at the same time. No, you can multitask. You can do two things at once. You can pick up that duffel bag and take it with you because it's important, because it has the money you need in order to leave. And you can find the cat, pet, or person that you're looking for at the same time. You can do that you can do that at the same time. Why do you have to choose one or the other? They literally put the bag next to you when you're playing, saying, and when you try to pick it up, she says, gotta find Homer first. No, you don't. Pick up the bag. Find Homer. Pick up the bag. Find Homer. Saw the game was $70 US and I knew it was going to be garbage. Oh, I had many. When I traded some money over for it, I did not pay a full $70 to play Forspoken. I played that game on this channel. Whoo, boy. Whoo. It was an experience. The only good thing about it was the combat and the traversal. That was it. Everything else was garbage. Saved a lot of money following your first thought. Yeah, you saved a lot of money. It dropped in price considerably. I wonder how much it is now on the PlayStation Store. Hold on. Let me see. How much is it now? Because I know it dropped to like $19 in its most recent price drop. Let me see how much it is. But I'm saying all this about Star Wars Outlaw, and though some people say it looks nice and everything, I'm not sold. I'm not sold, and I'm frankly not interested. I'm tired of... Okay, so it was on sale. It's still priced at $60 right now. Even after everything, it's still priced at $60. First Mind told me not to be... Not to be DD2, but Dragon's Dogma. Not to buy Dragon's Dogma 2, but Dragon's Dogma. I mean, Dragon Dogma 2 is a good game. Still a good game. It's just that I don't like games that choose visual quality over actual frame rate performance. Explore an open world with new and iconic locations. Explore distinct locations with bustling cities and cantinas. Race across sprawling outdoor landscapes on your speeder. Each location brings new adventures, unique challenges, and enticing rewards if you're willing to take the risk. Experience an original scoundrel story, because we don't want to experience an original Sith story, or Jedi story, or a Mandalorian story. We want to experience a scoundrel story, because Lando Calrissian and Han Solo's impression on us was so good that we need a game based on their archetypes. Live the high-stakes lifestyle of an outlaw. Turn any situation to your advantage with Nyx by your side. Because we always need to have like some sort of companion for characters now. Now, ever since BB-8 and R2-D2, now we need the characters to have companions with them. With Cal, it was great. I forgot what the little android's name was. That's always with Cal in the Jedi Fallen Jedi series. And now we got Kay with Nyx, this little creature, because it's got to be cute, because we need to sell some more of these toys if the game does well. with Nyx by your side, fight with your blaster, overcome enemies with stealth and gadgets, or find the right moments to distract enemies and gain the upper hand. Or you could be like a Mandalorian and just gun everybody down with extreme precision, as if you're Sam Fisher, but setting this in the Star Wars world. Once again, missed opportunity. Embark on high-stakes missions. Take on high-risk, high-reward missions from the galaxy's crime syndicates. More than likely, these high-risk, high-reward missions are, in fact, the story missions, and probably not something you can do on a recurring scale. Steal valuable goods, infiltrate secret locations, and outwit enemies as one of the galaxy's most wanted. Every choice you make influences your ever-changing reputation. Engage in dogfights as you travel the Outer Rim. Pilot your ship, the Trailblazer, as you engage in thrilling dogfights with the Empire and other foes. Find the right opportunities to chase, evade, and attack to gain the upper hand. And then pre-order bonuses. K-Vess. So, K-Vess is a young thief from Canto Bight looking for a big score to set herself up for life. Nyx is a Merqual and Kay's best friend. Because you can't make... BD1! Thank you. Don't get me wrong, I like Outlaws, but we don't need games based on Outlaws 24/7. We don't. What has better appeal? Jedi and Sith and their war against each other? The potential to wield the vast array of the Force at your fingertips? No one wants to make another Force Unleashed or another game like it. But we want to make Outlaw games. We can't have or no one wants to make a Mandalorian game where you literally embrace this is the way. You get to customize. Look, I'm coming up with these ideas for all of you, okay? We get a Mandalorian game. But we are not the Mando. We're not Din Djarin. We're not Jango. We're not Boba. But we are a Mandalorian. And we go through the ranks where we become a well-known bounty hunter. We could encounter the Fets. We could encounter either Jango during the Clone Wars or Boba during the Empire days, depending on which one is more appealing. It could be Clone Wars if you want to encounter Jedi as well, or the Empire days if you want to encounter the Empire as you're doing jobs for everyone. You have the potential of creating a Mandalorian game where you get to build you get to build a Mandalorian your way. Because Mandalorians are well-versed in the capabilities of combat, from like flamethrowers, grapples, guns, different types of fighting styles. You could create a Mandalorian that is akin to one specific play style. You can play the one that likes to be in the air all the time, using their jetpacks. You can play one that is a brawler that likes to get up close and personal. Play one that likes to use blades, or play one that likes to use guns from a long distance, using like a Icon rifle, the same type of rifle that Mando was using that can just straight up vaporize people. There's a lot of things about Mandalorians that could translate very well into a video game. Then you incorporate the whole bounty hunting aspect. You go out, get a job, hunt down these people across planets, which could be open world if you're smart. Hunt them down, get paid, and then use that pay to upgrade your weapons, upgrade your armor from, like I said earlier, regular looking armor to Beskar, so you become better and better at hunting down foes, and then your bounty targets get more and more difficult as you level up and you learn new skills, such as dual wielding or incorporating different gadgets in the middle of combo strings or whatever. I'm just throwing ideas out here about what would be cool to me. You have entire enemy strongholds where your target's on the inside. I think of when Hit showed up in Dragon Ball Super and he took out that one guy, infiltrating inside of his main building and then taking him out before anyone could tell. You got so many opportunities for that. Find different strongholds, you infiltrate them any way you want. You can either burst down the door, or you could go in secretly, take out the person, or hold them hostage, or bind them up and then get out before anyone knows what's going on. The whole place could go on high alert as they're searching for their missing leader, because you got to be careful. You may be a Mandalorian, but you're not invincible, so there's all sorts of things you can do. You could have run-ins with Jabba the Hutt, or members of the Hutt clan, maybe even a surprise encounter from Cad Bane, or whatever. There's so many different things a Mandalorian game could do, and you're not just necessarily affiliated with Mando from the TV series. You're literally just a Mandalorian bounty hunter who's seeking to return to the days where Mandalore has been fully restored. So what you're doing is contributing to whatever clan you're a part of while you're out doing all these bounty hunting missions, having all these different encounters. All of it is going towards the future of Mandalore. There's just so many things you could do with that. So like a Bad Batch video game, but with a more unique character? Possibly. I still need to watch the recent season of Bad Batch because I love the Star Wars animations. I really do. Especially the 3D ones. I think they're very good. I gotta watch the latest season of Bad Batch. I haven't started it yet. Here's what would sell like hotcakes. Dragon Dogma 2 combat, character creation, Star Wars verse, RPG, deep interactive story, 7 different biomes, 2 different planets, RPG, become a Sith, a Jedi or a Sith, or be enemy to them, both. Yeah. See, that's what they need to take what they did with Jedi, Star Wars, The Old Republic MMO, and create a new version of that for consoles. It doesn't need to be as vast as The Old Republic, but you can take the opportunities that it grants you and put it on consoles for other players. Jedi, Sith, Bounty Hunter. You could have all sorts of different classes in there for you. The narrative can be more or less the same. Your starting point can be different depending on the class that you choose, but the narrative reaches one goal that is capable of being reached for all classes, but your experience will be different based on the class that you choose. So many opportunities, but here we are, having another underdog story, instead of being an individual that is capable of being good from the jump. Because I don't know about you, but I'm kind of tired of underdog stories where it's all like, oh, you're the downtrodden. Oh, you're a person trying to get out of a bad situation. Oh, things are already bad for you. Why can't we just play a person that's already established? They're doing well, and they're looking to be even better. Maybe tragedy hits them when they're already down, but they are not so down that they can't get back to that same level that they were at. There's all like, oh, this was a bad situation, but I still have that massive amount of influence, even though this bad situation happened for me. Now, I feel like, and here's the thing, with Cal Kestis, it was pretty much the same type of trope, but at least you got stronger and you understood, at least the narrative didn't keep you downtrodden for very long. With this, I feel like she's just going to try and get out and be free, and there's really not much else to it. That's just me. But here's the thing. I see these characters, K, Vess, Nyx. ND5 might be the best one out there, because he's pretty much the most interesting. It's funny how the one that is most interesting is the one with absolutely no facial features or no way to tell what he's thinking at all. ND5 is a BX commando droid from the Clone Wars who works as a personal enforcer. Might be the most interesting character out of the entire game, and that includes K. Who else y'all got? Jalen Vrax. Jalen Vrax is a gun runner and master criminal who has been running heists for years. And then Slero. Slero is the leader of the Zarek Besh crime syndicate, which he runs from a mansion in Canto Bight. Yeah, that encounter is not going to be something. But I said all of that to say this. Imagine being able to live out that scene from Rogue One where your character is appearing and everyone is flipping out and blasting at you. Literally having your own Darth Vader moment. I don't know. And here's the thing. I said all that. I went on that big, massive rant about characters and all that, and this game could actually turn out to be good. However, knowing Ubisoft's track record, where they've already been on record saying, like, players should get used to not owning their games. Yeah, that's not going to come back to haunt them at any point. But I said all that, and this game, like I said, this game could wind up being good, but first impressions are everything. We are no longer in an age where we're just going to take your word for it, and then we're just going to immediately buy the game. It needs to be good. Don't show us no edited footage because you think it's just going to appeal to us. This ain't 2010 no more, where we just use that as the only means of telling whether a game's going to be good or not. Those people from back then in 2010, they're adults now. They're smarter now. They're not dumb enough to just buy a game simply because you tell them to. So first impressions are everything. What's really going to be the make or break is unedited, long, unedited footage. I hope they make it, because I will do a reaction to it, and I'm going to tell you what will work and what won't work purely based on their gameplay. That's going to be the make or break. Not these story trailers that have things that are spliced together. Full, unedited, unaltered gameplay footage. At least 13 to maybe 15 minutes worth. If it's 12, if it's longer than 5 minutes, that should be enough. But the longer, the better. It's going to be the unrestricted gameplay that's going to be the make or break. It's Ubisoft. You have to have some sort of some hesitation. Always take their games with a pinch of salt. Oh, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Because I don't trust Ubisoft as much as I don't trust EA when they create games. Not when they publish games, because other people are creating them. But when they create games. So I hold Ubisoft on the same regard. I'm just basically tired. We're going to get to a point where we do not lots of cloud side games where the company can tell you they got rid of the servers and people will be mad about it and then accept it. But the thing is, they're trying to do that now and people still don't accept it. See, they're trying to edge it in. And I know what you're referring to. They're trying to edge in the whole idea that cloud gaming is the future. It isn't. Physical, like, all of these, these will stand the test of time when servers go offline. Games that don't require an internet connection in order to play, these are the ones that will last. Because whenever you create games, even if there are games that come on physical discs, it is the ones that don't require an internet connection that will still remain when people decide, you know what, we don't want these servers online anymore. So let's go ahead and shut it down. Let's tell people we had some good years, we had some good times, but now it's time to close the book on this game after so many years of it being live. Games like that, where it doesn't require an internet connection, are going to be the ones that stick around, and that is the reason why people are still very much against the whole idea of, like, there's consoles out there that are just digital only. I can't do that. I need physical discs. Some games I get digital on my system because I got space, but I prefer to have physical cases. Like, I know I'm getting back up again. I gotta show you guys. These are my older games. These are some of my older games. Batman Arkham City, Arkham Origins, Bayonetta, Bleach Soul Resurrection, which is already a hard enough game to find anyway, so good luck trying to find that on a shelf by itself. But games like this, classics like this, I like having games with an actual case, with an actual disc. I take care of my stuff, so none of my stuff's got scratches on it. But when I see games getting shut down and you can't access them, games being delisted from entire stores where you can no longer buy them. I missed out on my chance to get Deadpool when it was on the PlayStation Store. I missed out on my chance to get Fall of Cybertron when it was on the PlayStation Store. Regret it to this day because I can't get it anywhere else. I have Fall of Cybertron. I have the game. But I can't play it because backwards compatibility for PlayStation 3 still isn't a thing. I could boot up my PS3 and play it, but I can't stream it because I need like an external thing in order to show you guys. But I prefer physical. I prefer physical game cases. I prefer physical games simply because I know that when I have the game, they're not going to tell me, well, you don't have PlayStation Plus anymore or anything, and we are going to restrict your access to this game. We're just going to deem it unplayable anymore, and so now we're going to delist it. We're going to remove it from the store. We're going to make it so that you can't play it anymore because it's digital. I prefer to have it physical because I own the game. I prefer physical. we're gonna get to a point where you do not. Let's see. You got rid of service people. Your children and grandchildren will be for clout games. The adults don't matter. The children are the future. That's why they're trying to normalize the nonsense now. I'm not gonna normalize it. In my house, we look at physical stuff. I got Justice League, the entire series, DVD. I got the Batman, the complete animated series on Blu-ray. I got stuff that I can put discs in that can also play Blu-ray and DVDs and stuff. This is the reason why I'm not big on. I don't have an account for like streaming services and stuff. My family does, and I get to take advantage of it. But I prefer to have stuff that is physically there for me to have access to. So if servers happen to be down and the movie I want to watch is on a specific server, which server is down, I can just boot it up and still watch it. That's the advantage of physical media. When the internet is out, you can still mess with that stuff. That's the reason why I'm big on physical media. Because let there be a storm in my area and my internet goes out. There have been times in the past when my internet has gone out for like a couple of hours at a time. I've been grateful that I own games or media that I can watch waiting for the internet to come back. So it's not like I only have games that require an internet connection at all times. So I'm just out of luck when the internet goes out. Or if the power goes out. That's why I got a Switch. It's always charged. So if the power goes out and I can't access my PlayStation 5, I can just boot up my Switch. And that's the reason why I am such an advocate for physical media. Not digital. Sure, it has its advantages. Oh, it doesn't take up space on your bookshelf. But the advantage of physical media is that at least I have something on my bookshelf that I can go to just in case the digital stuff doesn't work. That's just me. I can't speak for everyone. But there's such a massive advantage for physical media that people who think digital is the way to go in the future, because what are you saving? What are you saving if you're trying to go digital? Oh, we're wasting so much plastic. We're creating so much plastic for games and stuff like that. What are you doing with all these consoles and all these apparatuses you're creating for people? Is that not too a waste as well? Well, it's not the same. Yes, it is. It is. It kind of is. You're still expecting people to get extra stuff in their homes just so your stuff can work. Literally no different than people getting physical media for their homes so that they can play with the stuff in order for it to work. Sure, it's a roundabout way for you to say it, but it's still the same. So, this Star Wars Outlaws thing just got me tired, okay? Great, gave myself the hiccups. But it got me tired. Hold on, let me turn the fan on. It's getting kind of hot in here. People worry about helping the world while their own house is on fire. It's just common. Yeah, it gets like that sometimes. But and looking at Star Wars Outlaws, the official story trailer, the story doesn't sell me. Buy back my freedom. If you're going to have a story trailer, explain why she wants her freedom. Because this doesn't invest me by her simply saying, like, I'm going to buy back my freedom. I just want to live free. Luffy wants to live free. And we get that. But we don't know your convictions. We don't know your reasons why. The story trailer is a perfect example for you to explain that. And they still want to remain all vague. Guess you got to play the game in order to find out. No, I don't. Just got to wait for someone on YouTube to have a full playthrough and then experience that. We're not stupid. We're not stupid. You being vague is not gonna compel us to get the game to find out. We're gonna wait for someone on YouTube to get that 3-day early access, and then find out for ourselves. And you know what? You want to know something else? Going towards the end, that is such unfortunate timing for August for their release date for Star Wars Outlaws. Let me explain why. there is another game that is releasing a literal week before. One of the most anticipated Unreal Engine 5 games that I've seen in recent years is releasing a literal week before this game. A game called Black Myth Wukong, which is going to be releasing on August 20th. And if I go to my calendar, it is literally on a Tuesday. It's on a Tuesday, while August 30th is on a Friday. Literal week before, we're going to be getting Black Myth Wukong. That's already going to have my attention. So, even if I had a small iota of wanting to play Star Wars Outlaws, Black Myth Wukong will get my attention way before Outlaws even gets my attention to watch a playthrough of it. Maybe I'll watch it in between when I'm playing Black Myth Wukong, but having one of the biggest UE5 games drop a week before a Star Wars game, and I'm more excited for Black Myth Wukong than a Star Wars game? It's unfortunate timing. It's unfortunate timing. Because it drops on August 20th. It already has a release date. It's dropping on August 20th. It's unfortunate. Let's see if there's any gaming news. Anything important. Thunderbolts. Fallout. Fallout 4 is getting its Fallout 4 is getting its next-gen update after after a long time of saying, like, hey, we're going to be creating this next-gen update for Fallout 4. That's going to be dropping on the 25th of this month. Literally a day before Stellar Blade comes out. So that should be fun. But other than that, let me see. Human beings aren't exactly completely logical or reasonable. There's this, when you see me pause when I'm reading what you guys are saying, is because this heart symbol is on the side of chat here, and it's literally in the way of y'all words. Human beings aren't exactly rational. We just reason away our actions and responses after, and sometimes during, actions. It's crazy. Let me see. I'm looking for news. I'm looking for news on Grand Blue, because I'm always hoping that they have something new. Nope. I'm still looking for news on Transformers Reactivate. I'm still looking for news on V Rising, as far as for it to be coming out for PlayStation and whatnot. But it hasn't been anything yet. So it's been kind of quiet. So the games that I've been playing, it's just been tying me over until I actually get a chance to play the games that I really want to play. Oh, actually, you know what? It's probably best if I show you guys why I'm so big on V Rising. Let's show Legacy of Castlevania. So already the aesthetics of the game and the way the game looks graphically, but also gameplay-wise, A lot about this game has already intrigued me, so I'm very much looking forward to when the game comes out for PlayStation.
Show you the might of the House Belmont! Face me! Taste the fury of a Belmont!
And mind you, battle Simon Belmont this year. Mind you, bring your Castlevania fantasy to life with the Legacy of Castlevania Premium Pack, where you can make your character look like Alucard, another character whose name escapes me. Just the overall gameplay of V-Rising really appealed to me. Is that Leon Belmont? No, that's supposed to be Simon. So, and designs, you said, do you think they will hate Wukong more than Elden Ring? No. Wait, you know what? Probably. I just realized what you meant by that. Yeah, they probably will. Psycho, well, Kyushu, I'm on my way to get that weapon. Enjoy! Inquisitor Giza is not that difficult. Just use what you've been using to kill everything before, and it ought to be just fine. I've really been hoping to get more info concerning Seifon and Toyin for Grand Blue. Now all we need is a Hellsing collab. Ooh, yes, Alucard from Hellsing Ultimate. That designs, you're a genius. I would love for that to be added as well. Because they have guns in the game. They have guns in V-Rising. So you could use the Ebony and Ivory. Well, not, wait. It's not Ebony and Ivory. No, those are Dante's guns from Devil May Cry. His jackals. His jackals from... You can use them as skins for guns. That would work so well, especially with his big old red clothes and his red coat. That would work really well. I would love that. I would love that. Since we get a Castlevania look, I would love a Hellsing Ultimate look as well. So real quick, for those of you, I'm a massive fan of Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. And we have new characters being added this month, which is Seifon and Toyin, who are known as members of the Eternal Skyfarer crew, the strongest crew in the skies. And we're getting two of their members. One is their leader, Seifon, or Siete, if you're going by the Japanese name. And then you have Toyin, who's supposed to be the second member. She's also the world's greatest markswoman, because her ability to aim and hit targets is, well, beyond human comprehension. She can aim at people from kilometers out. Her eyesight is perfect, and every shot she fires is capable of not only hitting its mark, but also hitting multiple people with just one pull of the bowstring. So these are the characters that are going to be coming to Grand Blue Fantasy Relink later this month. I'm really just waiting on a release date, so that way I can continue farming for more sigils against Lucilia's, so that way I can have something ready for them when I'm playing as those characters. But this is how they are. The man literally gets his own stand. And you see how you see this sea of stars underneath him?
そして他の粛清を刮目せよ。さあフィナーレだ。天聖剣最終奥義シエンミルエスパーだ。
カリなら任せて。
And this is Toyin. And one thing about her that me and Gachio learned is that she is a master of debilitations, which means that a lot of her moves can inflict debilitations multiple times on multiple enemies all at once. Literally inflicting tons of debilitations against enemies all at once. So as you can see, you'll pick Relink up again when they add these two. It's really a good game. It's so good! It's so good. So if you notice, if we go back, those dudes that she just shot at got inflicted with both Paralyze, got inflicted with Defense down, Attack down, also got inflicted with Flame damage, Residual Flame damage, and also Prolonged Poison damage as well. She is literally a debilitator. Matter of fact, if I go to her page, if I pull up Toyin and just go through what her moves actually are. So, Toyin, member of the Eternals, her art is absolutely phenomenal, and I just wonder, what are these artists on when they're creating these character arts for these characters? Because the art for them are just phenomenal. One of the Eternals, they who stand astride the skies and across the path of any would-be calamity. This naturally talented huntress, might as well call her a huntress, not a markswoman, but a huntress. Talented huntress's skills with the bow are peerless. She is literally the best person in the world who has ever wielded a bow. There is no one above her in terms of skill. She is the greatest and strongest bow wielder in the world. Her eagle eyes can track prey far beyond the horizon. Literally, it means that she's capable of seeing miles out and still hit her mark. She destroys those that wrong her in a hail of shining arrows. So, you have all these different moves. Merculite, you have Depravity, which is pretty much the move that she was moving here in this showcase where they're being afflicted. So, Depravity afflicts debuff resistance down, poisoned, burned, petrified, putrefied, blinded, charmed, zombified, sleep, paralyzed down, attack down, defense down, double attack rate lowered, triple attack rate lowered, and lethal hit on all foes. Instant death for the victim. It is literally what she's capable of. This is one of the moves that she's capable of using, and she's using it here. And one of the things that you have in Relink is a sigil called Insult to Injury, which allows you to do more damage to a foe that is afflicted with a status ailment. And seeing as how this one move is capable of putting multiple status ailments on one individual, Insult to Injury may be a quintessential, essential sigil for Toyin, simply because of her capabilities. Then we have Clincher, 300% light damage to a foe. And then we have 2 Crown Strife, extended time-based debuff effects on all foes by 90 seconds. Won't be surprised if this is something that is in her skill tree. Kyushu, I have it. So you got Giza's Wheel from Inquisitor Giza. Nice. Lilith is bae, I can fix her. No, you cannot. No, you cannot. Though some people, including myself, was wondering it would have been nice if Lilith was added as a playable character. A playable astral character? But then again, we're getting Sandalphon, and, you know, he's the astronomically strong supreme overseer and supreme primarch of all archangels. So, you know, even though we don't get Lilith, and even though we don't get Lucilius as a playable character, Sandalphon is just as, you know, just as well an option. So going back, so right here, so she does have Clincher. She has Clinch. Okay, I heard her say it. She has Clincher. So she has Clincher, 300% light damage to a foe, boost to damage based on number of foes' debuffs, And then at level 95, now hits all foes. Damage cap increase up to 1,200,000. When Bring the Thunder is consumed, also inflict pinpoint prey, which defense is lowered, boost to damage taken, strength 10% defense down, 20% of damage dealt, damage cap 10,000, base accuracy 200%, duration indefinite, stacking permanent. I'm just wondering about all the things, all the skills that she's going to have. That's just going to make her a debilitating monster. She would suck as a player character whose deal was that we could not, her whole deal was that we could not hit her. Yeah, I know. It was just a thought in mind at the time. But like I said, we're getting Sandalphon. So if we want a truly overpowered individual, Sandalphon is a good person to have. Especially considering that someone data mined him and managed to hack them, kind of glitch him and hack him into their game at one point. And his gameplay is, this dude looks insane. Can't wait for him in May. And one thing that stood out to me about Toyin's gameplay is simply because it reminds me of the Wisdom form from Kingdom Hearts 2. Like, when she's firing, she's capable of sliding across the ground while she's still firing at the same time. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. And I know I spoke about Toyin and her capabilities, but Seiphon, the dude is known as the strongest human. Like, let me come down here and find him. Eternals. My search history still has him up here as a much searched for individual. So yeah, one of the Eternals, they who stand astride the skies and across the path of any would-be calamity. Seiphon seems rather carefree for the leader of the Eternals, but he's actually a proud and driven man. The fearsome powers he commands could shake the very heavens, but he wields them only to right the world's wrongs. He's also frighteningly fond of swords. So one of the things about Seiphon is that he has an almost endless supply of swords that he's copied. So when he sees a sword that he likes, he makes a spirit copy of that sword that he can summon at any time. So you know how Gilgamesh has that move, I forget the exact name, from Fate Order, where he can summon all of these swords all around him out of these portals? That's essentially what Seiphon can do at any given time. His strength is basically infinite. He has access to this power called the Boundary that allows him to dip into basically infinite power that puts him on par with basically the main character. And the captain character is an individual that can reach astronomical levels of power in Grand Blue. But with Seiphon, he is incredibly strong, and he's able to summon all these swords at any time to not only aid him in battle, but also just to empower him as well. So, and he's known as the world's strongest human. He's a human, but he has all this massive power. So, for Seiphon, he has these moves where he's a wind type, which should be interesting. He has a Infinito Crieri, which is a 10-hit combo, but it deals like a whole bunch of damage around like the foe. All allies gain instant charge. Requires Sword Shine. Sword Shine attack and multi-attack rate are boosted based on level. Multiplier Perpetuity with an infinite duration. Then he has all these other moves. Star Sword Sovereign. Because the thing about the Eternals is that their strength is so great, they have enough power, and the weapons they wield have enough power to destroy the very heavens and skies themselves 7 times over. So these individuals, these people are mad strong. They are crazy strong. This picture goes hard. This picture goes hard for Seiphon. He just looks good with all these individuals standing around him. And all of those swords that these people are standing with, he can wield at any time. And that sword he has, that's the 7-star sword, which is really, really cool. Matter of fact, if I pull it up, fully upgraded 7-star sword. So let me go down to Let me go down to there's the unforged version. Let me pull up the unforged. Let me pull up the sterling. And then let me pull up the fully awakened type. Bum, we can't play Lucilius. He looks epic. What there's a lot of to Grand Blue Fantasy. There's a lot to it. So if we go to the first version of the sword, it's just regular. The 7 gems embedded in this giant blade represent the stars. While the significance of that design has been lost to the ages, there is no doubting the great power this sword possesses. I thought I heard family with food. Then we go to the sterling version. The septuplet jewels glittering in this saber stand for invincibility and guardianship. Their light pierces through the gloom, inspiring awe in all creatures and crushing malice. Then we go to the 7-star ivory, which is the highest form. These imperial jewels respond to the resplendence of a noble heart. An unbreakable determination governs all around it. The pearly gates await thee. Come, I shall guide thine way. So I'm just wondering what type of weapon is he going to get in the game? Because in Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, Grand's terminus weapon is the 7-star sword. So I'm wondering, what is Seofon's weapon going to be? Like his highest tier weapon, what is that going to be if Grand already has the 7-star sword? Is his going to be the 7-star sword awakened? Maxed out? 7-star sword ivory? A lot of questions. But I'm just excited to have these characters as playable characters in general. I want to say around the 20th of this month, we're supposed to be getting a showcase that could be teasing potential more story DLC for Grand Blue. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to what they're going to do for this game in general, because it's doing very well. The fact that this game sold over 1 million copies in less than 2 weeks, and people love this game, the amount of people who are playing this game on a consistent basis, not just on consoles, but also PC as well, people love this game. So this is more than enough reason to keep adding on to it. And if they supported the mobile game for all of these years, and if they're doing this, if they do the same for the console game, this is going to be a console game that gets supported for a very long time, if it's on the cards. But I'm really looking forward to the next bit of news we get from Grand Blue. And it's just that good of a game. It really is. The fight with Lucilius, I enjoyed. Once I got used to it, I used Charlotta and her ability to be invincible for a short period of time. I have a whole build that helps me fight Lucilius. And since they buffed all of the drop rates for all boss stuff, it makes farming less tedious now, since Tears of the Apocalypse are pretty much guaranteed with every encounter. So it's such a good game. It's a really good game. It's a really good game. I need to know when we're supposed to be getting Seofon and Twain. I need to know. Also, Kitty brought to my attention that Solo Leveling Arise, which is a game that's supposed to be dropping for mobile and PC. It's a gacha game, so it's like, I'm upset that our first solo leveling video game is a gacha game. But she also brought to my attention that I want to say the executive producer or the creative director said that should Solo Leveling Arise do well enough on PC and people like it enough, then a console version will not be far behind. However, he also noted that next year at the earliest will be when we see Solo Leveling hit a console, even though it's going to be the Solo Leveling Arise game. So I'm still upset that the very first game for Solo Leveling is going to be a gacha game, but I'm not going to get on another soapbox talking about it. But, ladies and gentlemen, I think I covered everything that I wanted to have today in today's reactions. Tomorrow, I am going to be playing Immortals of Avum, because that's been in my listings. That's been, ever since I found out it was one of the free games you could get in April. I downloaded it, and I've been pretty much waiting for an opportunity to play it. But because I was playing Dragon's Dogma and I want to get through all of that, I didn't necessarily see a good opportunity for me to actually. Didn't see a good opportunity for me to. Oh snap! Wait, hold on. Wait, was my... Oh, snap. This entire time when I was playing this, the image for... I had the filter turned on the entire time. It wasn't as bright. My apologies, I had no idea. Luckily, you guys, it didn't disrupt anything that you guys were watching. But Immortals of Avum will be the next game that I mess with. We'll turn it into a chill session for tomorrow, since we don't have any episodes to pretty much react to. No solo leveling episode since the season is over. No One Piece episode because it's going to be a recap of the Straw Hats versus CP9. So that's just going to be a massive recap. So Saturday will be a day where I mess with Immortals of Avum. I'll get the stream set up a little later on. But you've been a wonderful audience. I found it nice to do these types of streams where you guys can see my face, where we're reacting to a whole bunch of things. Let me get my face out of there. Thank you. I found it's nice to divvy up a lot of the things that I do on this channel, because I do a lot of gaming streams. A lot of gaming streams. But I want to do something different. And you know what? It felt good to do these sort of things where I'm just reacting to a whole bunch of things. If you guys got anything you want me to react to, remember that there's a whole channel in the Discord where you can throw some videos you want me to react to, and we can put it in a compilation of where we can all react to it together. So remember, if you guys have any video suggestion, make sure they're safe for work, because that don't fly on my Discord channel. Y'all know. But just put it in there if you guys got something you want me to check out. But overall, this was a fantastic stream. It is such an honor and a privilege to do what I do for all of you. So with that being said, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and even subscribe if you haven't already, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples. I was about to hit the wrong button when I did this. I was about to hit the wrong button.